You didn't hit the graffiti stream. That is a personal project.
I don't think I've ever seen your face, dude.
Yeah, no one
That's
has.
what I said.
Is this going to be an audio-only podcast?
No, I'll blur my section and have your lovely squares look awful.
Can you put like a big eggplant emoji on my face?
Sure.
All right, sick.
Well, are we ready to kick it then?
Yeah, let's
Let
get
it
it.
roll. Alrighty. Well, behind the art number 15, I believe, we got a whole cast of characters here. Familiar faces across the board, and then Kiptoe jumping in as the newbie to the crowd. So, Kiptoe, SLEW, Drew as Flavor World. Why don't you guys all give your quick intro for the people that don't know?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm Drew. I would do Flavor World. So I started the YouTube channel. It started as a clothing brand, so I make a bunch of clothing, screen printing, embroidery, all that. But YouTube channel was just more than that. I was doing painting videos and lifestyle, just vlogging, whatever I was up to, having fun on the YouTube channel, and then started making rugs recently, and that kind of changed my life. As you guys have probably seen, as probably YouTube watchers, the rug tufting has just kind of skyrocketed, and I kind of just rode that perfectly, and now here I am with some YouTubers I respect.
Right on.
That's dope. You make like custom rugs?
Yep. So I've got like a tufting gun. Here I've got a couple. This one right here, this is my friend's like album art. The album comes out tonight in like 2 hours.
Look at that.
But yeah, you can just like make, I don't know if the camera can see, but really
I've seen those. It's awesome.
Super cool because it's like drawing but with yarn, and like you're making a rug. It's like it feels so much like drawing, and even when I paint, I often feel like I'm still just drawing. Like I just feel like everything I do is kind of just a different medium of drawing, if that makes sense. So I was able to pick up the rug tufting really quickly, and it's so cool. I recommend.
Nice.
Well, my name's Kiptoe. I go by Kiptoe, formerly, currently, and probably soon after this too. And I'm a street artist, mural painter. I do little illustrations. I've been doing little character drawings a lot lately, going back into watercolors, and mostly a mural guy. It's like my favorite thing to do. And traveled around the world. I've been through South America, I've been through Europe, I've been across the US, and trying to hit more places, and just keeping it going. And I'm always trying to reinvent myself and figure out the next steps and how to be fulfilled the most. And I feel like it's always changing, and I'm trying to figure out the new steps in my life. I've had some changes recently, so it's time to grow and become a better artist and try new things. And I'm excited to talk to you guys about it.
Nice.
Hell yeah. I'm SLEW. I'm a painter also. I have a YouTube channel, try to share my creative experiences. And I think I'm officially the #1 Kiptoe fan in the world. Honestly.
Yeah, SLEW came out to LA like 3 or 4 years ago when he was a wee little lad. And
way long ago, dude.
And I think he just emailed me, and then we went to the Graph Lab and a little painting next to each other, and we went to that sick art show, like a huge building they turned into a big art show, and it was like that little spot was super inspiring. I remember there was one big ass open like warehouse section where there was like 3 giant video screens.
Yeah, with the car flipping and the different
car flipped like 100 times. And like they chopped up the video in a way that it would spin, and then all of a sudden like all these frames would match up, and it would come out full car and then split up again. And then the next room you went into, you saw all the little bits of the actual car that you just saw flip. It was wild. It was wild. That was only one little piece of that whole show.
What was the name of that building? Because didn't 1000 do a painting up in one of those like warehouse things?
This was like a pop-up famous. I forget the show, Kiptoe. It was super famous. It was super famous. And actually that was the space, I don't know if you remember, Kiptoe, with all the pillars with the crowns on top. And then there's that viral video, someone bent over, knocked it, and it knocked all of the pillars down. And it was like a viral video on YouTube. I don't know if you saw that. Do you remember that? Remember that? Like, there's just crowns on those pillars.
Oh
Like, probably
yeah.
like 60. And there's this video on YouTube way after I left California, but I was like, oh wow, we went there, and some woman just like bends over to get something and it knocks everything down.
On accident?
Yeah, on accident, but it was like caught on film. But that was a really famous show. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, that was like a big deal.
I was at some warehouse show in Denver here. And this girl had this huge like circle thing that would spin on a motor and kind of make a abstract like illustration, so it would get you kind of like trippy little. And then someone decided to wrench on it and spin it themselves, and the thing just almost came crashing to the ground mid-show.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, just don't touch the art. That scares the crap out of me just as a bystander.
I remember I had little sculpt my little animal statues for my solo show, and I built these like little podiums out of like those big ass cylinders that you fill cement in to make
for sure
buildings. Like I got those from Home Depot, and then I had like just like a flat piece like this, and then I just kind of screwed them together. I had my friend Jay. He's been like in the scenic biz for like 40 years, and he helps me with all my shit. We all screwed them together, and I slapped a bunch of white paint on it, and just like made sure I screwed it into the actual wall, because if anyone hit those, the thing would just topple over.
Yeah.
So made sure to like screw it directly into the wall. But I didn't sell them. I sold one painting in that whole show.
Oh damn!
And it was
really?
it was a painting that I painted in an hour and a half, like 3 hours before the show.
Yeah.
That was awesome, dude.
It's worse. We're not the judge about what we can sell our stuff for.
Yeah, some of like the favorite things I've ever made, I found like are like the day before an art show, where I'm just like, I need like one last thing or something.
Yeah.
Just like pull out my best work somehow. I think the pressure might do it.
No, for sure. The fever pitch really does set in a different atmosphere.
You got any plans, Sive? Any talking points, or you want to be the director? Are you the captain?
No, this will be a group expert. I've got a few things written down of casual chats that I'd have.
Yeah, no pressure. I was just wondering.
No, yeah, and by all means, if you guys have things that you're itching to talk about in the art realm or your own personal endeavors, I'm sure we'll flow through them all as we go.
I'm interested. I feel like just from watching your guys' channel, I'm the one that uses spray paint the least here. You guys all know spray paint pretty good. I'm wondering if you got just like any tips or anything. I'm just a beginner. I'm using like Rust-Oleum, and I'm trying to do like pieces now. I've only ever really used it as like a backdrop or something, but just as far as like actual art goes, I know it's a little specific to different styles, but anyone got any pointers on getting into spray paint?
Well, I feel like in general, the nice cans like meant for murals, like they're way different and better than like the stuff you get at Home Depot, like Rusto, like just off the rip, like the valves, different caps. That's just like a major advantage off the rip to get more technical, or it's just like a nice airbrush. But other than that, you just got to get weird, just start, right? Just like find a local wall or in your garage or
practice.
But I think you'll see it.
The studio.
Yeah, you'll see a difference.
I don't know where are you? Is that your garage or what?
No, this is like an art studio I got going on. So I just got.
Oh,
it's pretty good. It's pretty nice space.
Dope.
I don't think you want to spray paint in there.
The fumes will be fresh.
I got a mask thing.
No, even in that, you got like a high ass industrial fan out the window, maybe, but your whole shit's gonna get covered in spray dust.
Yeah, I do that
smell
all the
like
time.
Fumes for like 3 days.
Yeah, the dust is everywhere.
Start outside. All my indoor jobs, I don't even fuck with spray paint. I just use brush.
Yeah,
for murals and stuff.
If you're using the Rustos too, if you flip them upside down and spray it out, it'll give you less propellant, and they'll get a little easier to work with. It won't be your saving grace, but give you a 5% upgrade there.
Yeah,
that's true. But I think you'll probably definitely be able to tell, like the cans that are nice and obviously so expensive, they're crazy expensive, but they're like, they're way.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does.
That's something I noticed. I mean, this was just straight foolish of like a beginner move. But I went to
Yeah, I
Home
gotta
Depot.
start somewhere.
Oh, I still go to
Yeah, I
Home
didn't
Depot.
even my first time though. I didn't even buy like the Rust-Oleum ones. I was just being cheap, and I bought one of those like 99-cent cans
Oh
of
yeah,
like
Dollar Boys.
quick color or
Water.
something like that. Like,
Yeah.
just terrible, man.
It's the
They
least
suck.
excuse of paint that can
Hey,
be
that's
in the world.
we all start somewhere. We all start with those 99-cent Walmart.
Yeah.
cans.
Yep.
I remember like racking those and going out tagging a bunch of bullshit when I was like 15.
Nice.
Yeah, this you got MTN 94, you got Montana. Those are actually two separate companies. They're not the same company. A lot of people think they're the same.
Spanish and German.
And then you got Molotov, which I don't know, kind of sucks. It's like watery.
You don't like it, really? I think Molotov's my favorite.
Really?
I don't like it,
You?
bro. It's
Really?
it's watery, bro.
It
I've
is
always
light on
loved-
pigment.
All
at
my art
times.
stores only have Montana Gold. Obviously, really good, but I've only ordered Molotov off the internet. But I love it.
I recently got sponsored by Dang, which is the new stuff from Bombing Science.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
dope.
yeah, I really like it. It's pretty good shit.
I tested that stuff out too.
It's
Had
like-
a great time on the wall.
Yeah, it's nice low pressure. It's just they got all the colors. It's quality stuff.
Dang.
Dang.
Good branding
heard
right
of
there.
Dang, that's a good brand.
That's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
And congrats on the sponsorship
stuff.
too.
And
I
my-
love a plug.
Yeah, the dude hit me up. He's like, we can supply you with paint anytime you need.
Ooh.
I'm like, it's good to hear.
So words
I
of
just did it for my my Texas mural that I did in Amarillo, which was like, oh, the fucking best.
nice.
Can I swear in here or what? We just
It's
free
too
walk
late.
or what?
Let it fly. I don't mind.
Swear is good.
Yeah, I had a sick ass time in Amarillo. It was like I had a pretty shitty first couple months of my year. Like I broke up with my girlfriend of 2 years, and I was kind of like sad and depressed and lonely. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my YouTube channel. I was getting burnt out and shit. I just moved out here to the desert, and I live here by myself. And it's like easy to get lost in your own head and like really lonely and shit. So
Oh, yeah.
then when I finally got to do this cool mural over in Texas, he was like a fan of mine for a while, and he had ordered like drawings of mine and everything. And then I got out there in Amarillo, and first thing we did when we got into Amarillo, there's like the airport's here, and then the town is like right over here. It's like pretty close. And we stopped by this place called the Big Texan, which is like kind of like a tourist trap, but it's like they have these 72-ounce steaks, like literally about
Oh my
this
god.
big, and like
That's
this
too
thick.
big.
And it's like a challenge where you have to eat the entire steak plus all the sides within 60 minutes, and then it's free.
Jesus.
But
Mhm.
I saw it with my own eyes, like it was like on ice, like as an example. You got to eat all this shit, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that's even possible. Like you have to like put Novocaine in your mouth and just like shove it down. Like
So did
finish
you
that.
do it? No way, right?
No, I
Oh my
didn't try that
gosh.
shit. I got a little 18-ounce
Yeah,
steak
dude.
and
18
had a nice dinner.
72. Oh my gosh.
But I looked on there was like a plaque underneath the example, and this woman ate 3
No.
in 20 fucking minutes.
No.
Is she like a professional eater? Has to be. Like
Has to
Matt
be.
Stoney or
She's
something.
just like she was like a regular looking woman, like wouldn't expect it. She ate 3 of those in 20 minutes. She must have just went,
Yeah.
oh.
In and inside and out. Like, how do you even have room for all that?
Yeah, you don't. You just make room. You like. She must have like 4 stomachs. She must be a cow.
That's what I'm saying.
But-
She has to be like Matt Stoney. You guys know Matt Stoney, the professional eater?
Oh,
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that
he's got
guy.
a YouTube too.
Yeah, and he's like small, but he just pushes it in. So
Yeah,
No,
he
that
must
goes
have the biggest shits of anyone ever.
I
of
don't
all
know
time.
if he throws it up after. Like he never really says.
He must
but-
have the plumber on speed dial or something, or he's just got like an
Upgraded
outhouse
pipes.
where it's like a 100-foot drop, and he just like it just goes, you know.
Vacuum tube to pull it out faster than it can go in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
we did that was just like the start. And then there was like Texas is like kind of like open. It's like they don't really care about COVID as much. Like you go into the bar with your mask on and like the bouncer's like, okay. And then as soon as you like get past the bouncer, you just take the mask off and you go in the bar and like you hang out. It's like a regular bar. I haven't been into a bar in like year and a half or whatever the fuck.
It must have been a nice refresh.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was cool. I actually got to like talk to people and like talk to chicks and flirt with people and stuff. And oh, it was super great. And then the next day, Saturday, they take me down to the river. And the river, it's like this spot where people go and hang out. It's kind of like a dried up bed. It's like not really a river anymore, but they still call it the river. And there's like bridges and all sorts of cool shit. And then we're going down there, and the two guys that hired me, Jesse and Alex. Jesse's like the super talkative guy, and then Alex is kind of like a little more shy, but he's also just as funny. But he takes this little suitcase, and it's hot pink, and he throws it in the trunk, and he's like, "Yeah, I put all my guns in my hot pink suitcase, so no one steals them." And then we get into the river, and he opens up this hot pink suitcase, and he pulls out a Uzi. And then he pulls out an AK, and then he pulls out an AR-15, and then he pulls out 2 pistols.
Proper
and
Texas.
He pulls out like 8 boxes of ammo, and we're locked and loaded, ready to go. And we're in like the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Amarillo, in the, it's like all flat, super flat, and it was gorgeous. And we're by this big metal train. It's like a bridge with like the metal train up here, and you can see, and it's like super cool. I wish I got a drone shot of it, but my drone was acting a fool that day, so I didn't get anything. But it was awesome. And like his AK didn't have a stock, so you had to basically like hip fire it like a gangster. Just go. We set up like we had like a 36 pack of Mountain Dew, and we shake them up, put them at the rocks, and just fire Mountain Dew cans as they blow up.
Texas.
Classic FPS Russia right there.
Yeah, and they didn't bring earplugs, like idiots.
Oh, good.
They didn't find any or something. So they sent off 2 rounds, and they were like, "Oh, fuck, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." But then they had extra masks. So they ripped their masks in half and like shove them in their ears for earplugs. And they were like, "Finally, I have a use for these stupid masks." And it was like the quintessential Texas experience. We're shooting guns over here. There's big lifted trucks going through the mud behind us like this. And then there's people getting stuck over here. And then on my way out, we pull up, and this my guy Jesse, he sees his buddy, and they're chilling next to these big Razor ATVs. And he's like, he looks at me, he's like, "You want to go for a ride?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I want to go for a ride." Hop in the 2-seater, and then there's another 4-seater. We both get in. I hop in the 2-seater, and this guy, he starts blasting the Latino music. They're all Mexican, right? So they blast the Latino music. He's like, "Amadea, Amadea," and that sounded like an Indian or something. Anyways, I'm buckled in. I strapped in. I got these big goggles on my face, and he's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." Boom, he hits it, and then we're going up and down, and there's like these trails that are going like this, and then it's like a freaking roller coaster, and there's rocks about the size of like they're about this fucking big, and he just goes up and over it, like the wheels are doing this and this and this. I got my GoPro, and I'm just like trying to capture as much as I can, and we're going up, and we hit this little hill up here, and then we pull up, and it's like a little plateau. He's like, "Check out the view," and it's like it just like opens up, and it's like the fucking Lion King, and it's amazing. And whoa, and he takes off again, and we're going down and around, and then we're trying to like go past the other ATV this way, and like swerving in and out of each other like this, and then we get to like this like flat spot, and then we're going as fast as he can. He hits like 75, and then all of a sudden these like little bumps in the road start going like this. And I'm going like, oh, and I'm like, seatbelt's getting like tighter and tighter. I'm about to piss my pants because it's like squeezing my bladder. And all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. And then you pull into the end. And I'm just like, holy fuck. And he looks over and he's like, "How was that?" And I'm like, "I got to get me one of these." Motherfuckers.
Nice. You should start an improv like a group. Kiptoe. You're quite the storyteller.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
visceral. It's giving me PTSD. I broke my leg real bad on one of those quads last summer.
I know, that was gross.
Yeah, it was no fun, and I don't think I'll go on one of those anytime soon. But I'm happy you had a good time.
Did you paint the mural the
Yeah.
next day? Where's the mural come in?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I left right after.
This was an art story? I forgot. It was art. Yeah, and then after that we went to like a big amateur boxing tournament. That was just like half the day. And then we went to this big amateur boxing tournament, and it was like super packed, and there was just like round after round with these guys boxing, and I'd never seen that in real life, so it was really interesting to hear them hit each other and like you could see the sweat coming off, and it was like Rocky in slow motion. It was like a lot of spit and the sweat and shit. And then after that we went to this, they had their aunts turn like 60, and Mexican families, they're like rabbits. They got so many brothers and sisters and cousins and aunts and second cousins and all this crazy stuff. And we went to this party, and it was like in another event space for the 60-year-old's birthday party. And I'm there, and like I hadn't practiced salsa in like 2 years or something, but I'd taken lessons for like 6 months, so I'm like grooving to get back in, and I twirl a couple girls around to do my thing. I'm having fun and throw some drinks back. And then we went back down to downtown at the same arcade bar we were the night before, and finished out the night with some games, and then crashed out at the hotel and woke up the next day. And I had a day and a half to bang out this whole mural, because that's when they're closed. They're closed Sunday, and then they open up again on Monday at 2 p.m. So I had all day Sunday and then till 2 p.m. on Monday to finish this whole piece. And it wasn't that big of a wall, but it was enough where I gotta focus. But I had all my stuff and I had all my equipment ready, and I set up my tripod. I had like a small, like light tripod that I travel with. I set up my tripod, my camera. It's like this, right? I set it up. I go inside to get my GoPro. I come back. The whole thing is just on the ground because it's windy as hell over there. And I was gone for like 2 seconds, and my camera was like smashed on the ground.
No,
it wasn't totally smashed, but it was enough for like I had this shitty little like stock lens where it was enough where it probably it didn't recognize the lens or whatever, so I couldn't use my real camera the whole time.
Oh, that's
so I just had to use I had to use my phone and my GoPro for the whole video. But I've had my camera stolen like twice and shit. I'll figure it out. But this I banged out the mural. I got all the background in. I started doing the outlines, and then I got a good chunk of like the right side done. And it was getting like around 6 p.m. and I was like, all right, you got to go get some lights, because I want to go to at least like 9 or 10 so I can hang out this left side here with the bulls and stuff. Then I go to Home Depot to grab like a light setup and everything. And then these guys who are hanging out, it's like a Saturday, so it's like a chill day for them. There's like 3 or 4 guys hanging out all day, and then there's people coming in and out all day. But this guy, his whole brand is him like chugging tequila out of the bottle. He's got like stickers, like his logo is him like doing this out of a big ass tequila bottle. It's just like his sticker come to life like all day. He's just passing around the tequila bottle all day. And like I have to like refuse like every other time, because I can't get drunk while I'm up on the ladder painting and shit. And then we're like passing around tequila, and then we're shotgunning beers. And then this guy pulls out this big ass boombox that's like the size of a suitcase, and he starts blasting like Beastie Boys and like Rage Against the Machine. And we're having like a full on block party, like as I'm painting in the night. And then there's like a food truck over here, and it's almost like we're having like a little party, like as I'm trying to paint. And like I don't mind that as much when I'm painting like that, because I'm usually just here by myself. I have nobody to talk to or hang out with, so it's like nice to have people doing shit while I'm doing shit. But sometimes like it gets to a point where it's like, all right, I gotta fucking focus. You guys are like distracting me really bad. But that night was enough where I could get enough done. We packed up around 9:30ish, and I got like enough done where I was like, okay, I could probably finish this before 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then we went to this sick ass like Thai food place. Oh man. And this guy Jesse's like such a foodie. He like ordered almost everything on the menu. He just kept going and going. And we had like 8 people at the table, and we just kept getting like serving after serving of this amazing food, and it was super good. And I went home and passed the fuck out. Woke up the next day and cranked out the rest of the piece, added the details and the final touches and all the little doodads I like to add and flair. I call it like the last stages of little flares I like to add and stuff like that.
Kiptoe, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something about this mural.
Yeah.
Is it so you drove there, you flew out there? Do you set up all of like the quote? Like do you quote this guy beforehand, materials, everything, and then he pays you and it's just agreed upon? Or like is it
Yeah, I do we agree on the budget like way up front. So before I even start drawing anything, we agree upon a budget. And then I ask for 20% up front, which is like the drawing fee. So like even if
it's like concept work,
project
no
goes
matter
to
what.
shit or whatever. Yeah, it's like a deposit, and
Right.
it's like my drawing fee. Like I don't draw for free anymore. I don't do sketches for free anymore.
Yeah, you can't.
And yeah, so I do 20%, and then once the sketch is done and everything's locked in, I'll book my flights and I'll order my
Is he paying
supplies
for a
and
flight? Is he paying for traveling?
Yeah, it's
has
like
to, right?
the budget's like all inclusive, so it includes like materials, labor, travel. And I usually ask them for accommodations, whether it be like on their couch or in a hotel or whatever they want to do. But I usually ask the client for accommodations.
Because like weighing good opportunity versus like you're gonna make a cool video, it's content for your YouTube channel, but obviously it has to be worth it monetarily speaking before you even say it.
Yeah, and this one was actually pretty cheap. I quoted them kind of low because my prices kind of wax and wane a bit depending on the time of year and how much work I have. Like if I'm kind of dry, then I'll do a little bit lower because like I need the work and I want to get out there and do stuff.
Yes,
but if I'm really packed and I'm busy, like, and you still want me, it's gonna be pricey.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, you said these guys were fans, right? And they bought work before, so they were homies.
And I didn't mind being like a cheaper mural because they showed me a fucking sick ass time, and I had a sick ass weekend, and they paid for everything.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't have to pay for anything except for like 1 or 2 dinners when I was by myself. So that was kind of like also included in the price, even though I wasn't on paper. It was kind of like they still like took really good care of me.
Are you decent at smelling out that hospitality, or has that fallen short sometimes too?
Usually I got treated really well, honestly. People who are hiring me, they're not like if I have to fly there, there's like they have to be serious about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like every time I go somewhere, it's usually they treat me really, really well. So I'm pretty blessed so far. I feel like I've gotten really lucky with my client base.
Yeah, I don't know if you've had experience like that, Drew or SIVE, but I really haven't done like those like bigger commissioned commercial projects. It's mostly just like smaller painting commissions. So I haven't even gone through that kind of bedside manner of talking to clients or traveling for a mural. I've never done that. So I'm just curious about the inner workings of the business. Because obviously you're friends, you want to be a good time, but just as a freelance artist, it's just interesting to me.
Yeah, I've only done one mural for like it was for a pizza place, a restaurant. It was my first mural ever, and it was like this big, like 40-foot wall, and they just were like, "You want to do a mural?" I can't believe they trusted me with it, but I didn't even. They paid for the materials and they gave me a bunch of free pizza, but I didn't have
Dude, free pizza's dope.
It was dope, but I hope someday to have a suitcase full of Uzis and 18 ATVs and tequila shots and
the quintessential mural project.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time though. Like, I think murals are so fun. I feel like everyone here probably knows that it's like so fun to paint like that big, and something about just like a wall never moving. It's cool how like a mural is pinned to like a geographical like location where every painting on a canvas will move around, but a mural just kind of stays there, and that's kind of cool to me.
And two, I feel like you almost feel out the wall while you're there, regardless of what it is. You're kind of forced into its own environment to paint to it as it stands as well, because it is so permanent.
Yeah, I think murals are kind of that's why I think murals are easier for me than doing like a painting, because paintings have to stand on their own 2 feet. They have to like a painting on a wall is a painting on a wall. It has to speak its own language, and it has to like have its own oomph to it. Whereas a mural is kind of already has merit just because it's big and it's there and it's in the environment. Like it kind of already has
matter?
a step above like a painting, at least from my career. That's why my paintings don't sell well. So like I think murals kind of already have this like built-in merit that makes it more appealing, I guess, to the average person.
Yeah, it's a cool thought. I thought that too. Like when I painted that one mural, it's just something about doing it so big and on a wall. It just kind of makes it cooler in itself, even if the art itself isn't better than any of your other work. Something about the mural medium boosts it.
I heard about a new like app online service that lists people that have walls to be painted and will take open submissions. I was like, it's about time. Like everybody has to go do the foot traffic themselves and get shut down. But yeah, I guess there's a middleman now that's trying to take his cut of your commission in exchange for finding you spots.
Is it just in like big cities, or is it kind of like
I honestly heard about it yesterday, so I haven't looked into it. It's called Wall Space with an X instead of an A. But
that's a good idea, though.
Yeah, conceptually, it makes sense.
Is it like there's a couple of those over here. There's one called like Beautify Earth, where it's like you set up an account on the website and they'll match you with mural projects if they think you're a good fit.
That's cool.
Yeah, the way it was written, it seemed to be kind of everywhere across the U.S. Whoever has a wall and will accept applications. They put one as the business owner on one side as what they're looking for, and you can kind of bid and apply as the artist on the other. So it'd be cool to see something more formal come of that, and more brands be able to feed through a central vein that
or just opening up more legal walls. Like
that is huge.
That's how I learned, like I never got huge commissions, and I just learned spray painting. Not that I even do it that much anymore, but just through like a skate park in my town. And it was so awesome. Just go there whenever I want. No stress about being illegal, and just practice. And I know there's a bunch of places like that in LA, Kiptoe, but yeah, it's hard. Like even you were saying, Drew, like to practice doing murals, or if you're trying to get into spray painting, like if you don't have a backyard with a big wall, or if you don't have a garage, it's kind of like not as accessible as obviously just getting some paint and a canvas or painting on cardboard. So there is almost that like factor of removing people from trying it, or you know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think that's making excuses. If you really, really give a shit about it, you'll find a way no matter what. Like you can work at a pizza place and save up money and buy a bunch of 4x8s and put them together and paint on those or whatever the fuck.
Totally.
I think if you really care about it, like you'll find a way. And when I moved to LA, I didn't have any contacts or know anybody, and I would just drive around all day looking for blank walls, and I got 100 no's before I got a yes. And when I got a yes, I would grind my gears to the bone and do the best work I possibly could while I was like sleeping in my car and washing dishes at night. And
did you do them for free when you started out, or did you just jump right into paid murals?
Who's gonna pay me when I don't have a portfolio to show them?
Yeah, but you were a stud artist from a young age. So you were starting out, but once you put something up, I'm sure. It was just like you said, it's just you got 100 no's before. Yeah, it's just less accessible. But yeah, of course, if you want to do something, don't stop, baby.
Yeah, I've built some pretty crummy practice walls in my day, so it's possible.
Yeah, I have too, and
hanging tarps over fences.
8x4 pieces of plywood, stack a couple of them on top of each other. You got like 8 foot by 8 foot surface. That's what's up. I've done that several different times.
I want to build one here in my backyard. I have like a 50-foot, backyard, and I've been like toying with the idea of building a wall here, but I'm not like in love with this place, and I didn't even know if I wanted to stay here. So I'm still debating on that topic, and while I still have like murals coming in, I don't really feel the need to do one in my backyard. So
yeah,
I'm kind of toying with that idea. It'd be good for making content and videos and
yeah.
all
Doak
that
just
stuff.
did that. Doak built a little backyard garden wall on his house or something. Smo has a super sick wall.
Smo's looks huge.
It's a good idea.
It is. I wish I could have one. I mean, I paint on my walls, but they're not really that big.
My first wall I made, we used to lay it flat because it was just a piece of wood, more or less. And then the mice would get under it in the winter. So every spring when we were resurrecting it, it'd be a scare show trying to tip it up and see how many mice and squirrels nested and are all scurrying.
You gave them a home, man.
Dude, and I took it right away.
You bastard.
Needed to practice with my quick colors.
Drew, I want to ask about the carpet or the rug thing, because that's another thing that's like, obviously, if you want to get into it now, it's people are doing it all over the internet. But how do you get into that right off the gate? Like, do you just buy one of those guns, or you just see a video and you just like go for it? Like, is it hard to get those guns? Do you have to like custom mod it, or do they just sell it on like craft places? Like, because I actually just commissioned this girl to do me an awesome rug of my Cyclops, and she just sent it to me. It looks
that was
awesome.
sick, dude.
So I really love it. I'm just curious about the entry to that.
No, I just saw one video on YouTube. Like the first video I saw, I was just like, that's it. Like I want to do that. So I just immediately go and do a bunch of research and ended up buying one. I got my tufting gun in probably like October, and after that, I'm saying, like I caught the wave like right at the beginning, because right like November and December, everywhere started selling out of these guns, and they're on like 3-4 month back order, where if you order the gun, they can't even ship it for a few months because they don't have it. So it's still like that, because it's YouTube's been really helping out the tufting industry, and they just keep selling guns quicker than they can make them, mixed with things like COVID just messing up global supply chains in general, and everyone buying these guns at the same time. But I mean, I found it pretty easy to get into. It's like a power tool, and like I've used saws and drills before, so I was able to get into it pretty easy. I mean, it's incredible. There are easier ways to get started too. There are like punch needles, which is just like doing it by hand.
Right.
That's not a power tool, and that's like $10. So you could do that, but it takes like probably like literally 1,000 times as long. Like it takes so much longer doing it by hand. So, but I just feel like there's a lot that can be done. I mean, rugs are cool because, I mean, like kind of a problem I have with my art is like it's really hard for me to sell art, because I mean, it's just like the value is all objective or subjective.
Yeah.
The value's it's just whatever you want it to be. It could be $1,000
NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like whatever. But I find like I can sell clothing, because like a clothing has that inherent value to it, where it's a product, it's a shirt, you can wear it, and it has a function. So for some reason that kind of like clicks something in my mind that makes me all right selling it. And I feel like rugs kind of do that same thing for whatever reason. Just being on the floor, and you can step on it and you can move it around easy, and it's just kind of is like this different medium. It
has like more of an identity as a product.
Yeah, it's just a step above. It's almost like the difference between like painting to mural. It's kind of feels like that too, where it's just like painting to rug, where it's just, even if I did the same thing, and I have a couple rugs that are just, like if I painted them, it just like wouldn't be that cool. But since it's in rug form, it's like really cool.
For sure.
That's so.
Is it taboo to call them carpets?
How long have you been doing that? I still don't really understand how it works, but I was trying to follow along.
Dude, I can grab like the shit I need. I mean, I've been doing it like 4 months. or so. I'm super new to it. I just got into it in November 2020.
It's
And just
super
like,
cool. I've seen it all over TikTok. I mean, I feel like I've seen it on TikTok more than YouTube, and just people doing it all the time. It's super cool. And it reminds me of just like tattooing. Like you could have a
Yeah.
tattoo gun, or you could just do stick and pokes, like you're saying,
oh
like the
yeah,
$10 thing. But obviously the gun is like way more. It's just like an automatic sewer. Yeah.
Oh, that looks
Thing
like
is
a
gnarly.
tattoo gun on steroids.
Yeah, it looks like a ray gun
yeah,
from Nazi zombies or something.
yeah. I know. I love it. Just how like naked and exposed it is. It's super cool.
So obviously a
You
little
ever get
learning
your finger
curve
caught
for
in
the
there?
technique and the
Yeah, no,
operations.
definitely a learning curve. And I mean, I get a lot of like comments and DMs now of people just asking like help. Like it's like I thought it'd be easy and it's not. So it's not like super easy, but I mean, I think anyone can get the hang of it. You know, it's like spray painting or whatever. Like, oh, like I just got to start doing it, and
Right, right.
it'll make sense. But
Yeah.
same thing with this. I feel like
Where
it's
are you
awesome.
guys in? You guys are in Denver?
I'm in Denver.
Where are you, Jew?
I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, sick.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got 3 different time zones here.
Yeah, we're all across the
Well,
map.
actually 4 maybe.
Or yeah, I'm indifferent.
I love
Hells
that.
yeah. Are you on TikTok, Drew?
I am. Yeah, not
Yeah, I feel
too
like
actively, but
yeah.
a little bit.
Are you on
I
TikTok, SLEW?
I mean, I have an
That's a good
account. I just
question.
basically recycle like Instagram videos that are under a minute.
I feel like I don't even have time to do TikTok.
Yeah,
I,
I'm
Dude,
there with
same.
you.
like
That's the one
I
thing that holds you back. It's just like editing until your eyes bleed for Instagram and YouTube,
yeah,
and then
I
another
feel like
platform.
after a while I just become a person who uploads rather than a person who makes stuff.
Yeah,
And I hate that feeling.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
don't know.
it depends what you're looking for because you can get a lot of organic growth out of TikTok and like YouTube Shorts too, and you know Instagram Reels. Those short videos, you can have a really wide reach. They definitely
hmm
have like less substance. You know, like if someone has 10,000 followers on TikTok, that's not the same as like 10,000 subscribers. I don't know. We don't got to talk numbers like that, but you know, like TikTok's just that quick stimulation where
Yeah, but
YouTube's got more of that depth.
I feel like the best TikTok videos are the ones that are like made natively in the app. Like they go
Yeah.
farther, and like you can't just upload a video to TikTok because like the algorithm doesn't like that shit. So when like you make it in the app, it does way better. And like I feel like the shittier the TikTok video, the better it does. Like like the more amateurish that it
Yeah, and
is, like
realistic. Yeah,
That's fair.
not
You should
edited.
just make shitty TikToks then.
yeah, fuck YouTube. I'll make shitty TikToks.
It's true though. It's just like another. I mean, for like social media business, like
Hmm.
it's smart to be on, but like you said, Kiptoe, it's just more work. I mean, it's just a balance. I mean, it's you just get caught in the uploading numbers ring, but it is smart to sort of diversify, especially when TikTok is just obvious, amazing natural growth, but
yeah.
it's just a different platform, different workflow, nightmare editing.
Yeah,
I like.
mean,
I like. Did you see that Instagram is gonna be rolling out ads on their IGTV videos?
oh,
That
what?
sucks.
I got like
Oh, yeah.
invited to monetize my IGTV videos.
Oh,
Oh
sweet.
wow.
I haven't done it yet, but
Interesting.
like I was like against it at first, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do I gotta lose? Like my Instagram videos do so well.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, they do.
like I can get 100,000 views on my Instagram in like less than a week, and I don't have to make a catchy clickbaity title or a clickbaity thumbnail. I
It's
just
almost more
upload it,
natural. Yeah.
and boom, it takes off because I know how to make those snappy first like 3 seconds. I just go boom straight to painting the wall, and then like people watch or whatever, and I'm like, well, shit. If I do really well with those, then maybe I'll try and monetize those too. But I don't use Snapchat anymore. But when I went on there like a few months ago, I would be watching stuff, and like literally every other tap is like an ad.
Yeah, I
And
know.
it
It's
gets,
terrible.
really annoying.
It's
and
awful.
I didn't want my Instagram to turn into that, so I'm like kind of on the fence about it still, I think.
Did they give you
And
numbers and like CPAs and things like that for what it would be if you had a monetized like Instagram TV
probably
video?
I didn't like officially sign up for it yet, but maybe if
That's
I do,
super interesting.
yeah. But
Because I know TikTok has like the creator fund where you can like make money off viewership, but it's literally pennies, on like 1 million views.
yeah,
So it's like hardly nothing. But that's interesting. I had no idea that Instagram's doing that. Also, YouTube Shorts, Drew. I like just saw that the other day also, and I had no idea that's like a new thing on YouTube also.
Yeah, what's your
Everyone's doing
Tufting
those
video
like
up to?
story stuff.
Like 8
Yeah.
million right now, Drew?
Yeah, I got a video on YouTube Shorts that's about to hit 8 million views, and that's
Holy
just like,
poop.
and it's just that's what I'm saying about like organic growth, because it's just that TikTok where it's just like a 60-second video of me making a rug, and I put it on TikTok too, and it's doing super well. So, I mean, I might even suggest like, because it's nice. What I'm realizing is if you make one vertical video that's about 60 seconds, you can put it on YouTube Shorts, Instagram
Yeah,
Reels,
totally.
and TikTok. It's like
Yeah.
3 platforms all at once. So
Totally.
And they're all
it's a
fighting
bit
for
of
that
work,
space,
but it
right?
can
They
do
want
you
that mobile
wonders.
viewership.
yeah.
So they're
That's
just trying to
dope.
be the app that does it,
That's cool. I had no idea. But that YouTube Shorts that's not under the same monetization plan as like normal videos, is it?
No, yeah, you can't
It's like
do
8
ads
million
on.
views ad would be like
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of
No.
dollars.
Yeah, no, it's funny because you can put ads on it, but not on the, like, I don't even know how to phrase it. Like, when you're doing YouTube Shorts on your phone, you're viewing them, it's pretty much just like you're on TikTok. Like, it's like a separate YouTube window, but you can still view these vertical videos if you click on them from someone's channel. So
Oh, cool.
the video that has about 8 million views, I have ads on it, but I think it's like, I think I'm coming up on like about 1 penny in ad revenue.
What?
Just because everyone that's seen it is in the vertical.
Yeah.
Oh, you broke Kiptoe.
That's funny.
I
But
think I
that's
just
like
died a little bit.
that's a shitload of views. I mean, just to like expose your other platforms and whatever. So
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is it's done, it like doubled my subscribers, which can be translated into other
Yeah,
sources of, so
totally.
something to think about. I'm an advocate for it.
I
Plus,
just want to say,
editing a 60-second video is easier than like a 10-minute video. That's what I was gonna say.
oh yeah.
Or
I
do
just
you
want
guys?
to. I just want to commend the branding on Flavor World. He's got the hat, the 2 things right here, the nails that match. Like, bro, man, he was ready for this.
Flavor.
I actually just made this shirt today, and I thought it was funny because it was unintentional, but it matches my nails perfectly.
There it is.
Hell yeah. Do you have an embroidery like machine?
Yep. I got an embroidery machine.
How big is it?
sewing machine.
How many heads do you have, or how many needles is it?
Oh, it's just one. It's like
Okay.
a kind of more of a craft one, which is a little too bad because then you got to swap the thread for every.
Yeah, but you
change
did
of
that
color.
hoodie onto that one thing.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
so
do a
clearly
lot.
it works.
It works, yeah. And I mean, it's much cheaper. It was like, I think it was like $600. The ones with multiple heads are like $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Those are crazy. They're also loud as hell.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend has like a 12 head one. He bought from China for like his business. It was like 15 grand, but it cranks it out, but it's literally so loud. Sounds like a diesel engine.
Yeah, so I hope to upgrade to one of those eventually, but
hell yeah.
Got to grow the business to make that happen as it goes.
Do you guys use
SIVE, what are you
TikTok?
working on?
Oh, right now I'm editing. I've got such a backlog of projects. Some different.
Isn't that the best when like you have so much shit to make?
Yeah.
You don't have to think about making new shit for a while.
It is a little back burner at this moment. So it's cool, it's casual doing that and helping some other friends do some hoodie projects off the side. So I don't know if that'll ever make it onto the the YouTube, but just doing graphic work and whatnot. So, and I've been enjoying getting into Illustrator more. Did my first real dive into it on my last project, so been playing around with all the features.
So what is different about Illustrator than what you were doing before? Were you just
I was just crudely photoshopping before, just brute forcing my way to make vectors and stuff in Photoshop, and now just finally decided to take the opportunity to learn Illustrator.
The programs are so freaking different.
I know.
It's a headache trying to go from one to the other. If you're like so used to Photoshop, you go to Illustrator and you're like, these buttons are completely opposite from each other.
It's just, I'm always the one to preach, like, just get your feet wet and do it. And I just had to stop, bullshitting myself about it and use the right program for the right kind of design. So it's been fun going through the different, leverages that Illustrator has way over on top of Photoshop. So I don't know if I'll stay in it, but it's at least something that's keeping me curious,
That's awesome. I've never really messed with Illustrator.
How'd you do with your hoodie drop, SLEW?
Pretty good. Yeah, that's what I'm wearing also. Yeah, it went great. It was a huge, I mean, maybe Kiptoe, but like I did my first hoodie thing was like drop shipping. And that was pretty good. And it's super easy because you almost do nothing. You just kind of like rake in money, do a couple customer service emails. But this one was like, I like fully produced it with my buddy in Peru from like the thread up. So it was like full custom. And also in terms of like risk, I had to put a bunch of money up front to get it made and then shipped from Peru and then use a distribution center. But it was great, man. I mean, I think I'm definitely in profits now, but it was a huge learning curve, and it was like super stressful and like super fun, like a dream, like making clothes. Not that I'm trying to be like a fashion brand, but it was always a dream to make like a custom hoodie with embroidery. But it was like a lot more work and headache than I thought.
Yeah, when I was doing my hoodie for like in December, oh my God, I was about to cry. I was like staying up all night, every night, and I had to like not only do you have to make I was doing the screen print, the design, like redrawing that in Photoshop, and I was like talking to the screen printing guy, and then I was getting test samples, and they were like all the first tests were like completely wrong, and then I had to like redo them and like find like a new sweatshirt that I wanted to do, and I found this cool two-tone, and then I was trying to figure out that thing, and then I did like the front here, and then I did like the sides on the hood, and then I was also doing like trying to figure out numbers and what was in stock and what wasn't. I like this color for this t-shirt, but didn't have this size in stock, so I had to find a new color for this shirt, and it was like such a big headache. And also you have to market all that stuff. Like in the meantime of doing all this, I'm like editing the video that I'm gonna release them in with this big mural video, and I'm like trying to like I'm not the best to marketer, so I'm like trying to figure out the best way to like shove this merch into my video and like figure out how to get people to buy it. And it was like this whole thing. And then like my whole living room was filled with these big ass boxes, and finally I got the designs like shipped in here, and like they were really awesome, and I was super pumped. But now like I gotta organize all these by size and fold them all by hand, one by one, and put them in my merch. There's like a spare bedroom back here I use as my merch, and put them all in there and like size them up, and then release the thing. And I sold out in like 2 weeks or something. The hoodies, I sold them out. Nice. But I only had 45 or so. I didn't order that many. It was like 45.
Did you shipped everything by yourself? Yeah, that's that's a lot. I mean, how much of that was? Do you have a lot of international orders? Because that's where the shit gets terrible. I mean, I've had so many issues with international.
It's like a third. And the sweatshirts like took me by surprise because the shipping prices, even in the US, were all over the place. And I'd never shipped something that heavy before, I guess. And like sometimes people would buy 2 sweatshirts, and it would be like my mom and my dad bought a sweatshirt for each of them, and they live in New Hampshire. and it was like $17 to ship 2 sweatshirts to New Hampshire from California. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Try shipping to Hawaii.
Yep.
Sounds pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Most of my, like, not most, but I think easily 50% for this drop was international. So
Wow.
Oh wow.
it was a nightmare. And I use a distribution center in Miami, which like you send them the bulk and they kind of, it's linked through your website. So they fulfill it once it's made. You can ship anything, whatever. It doesn't have to be hoodies, but even with using them like international VAT taxes, like it was just a nightmare. I had to give like probably a dozen refunds because Saudi Arabia, Denmark, like they just never got there after like months and months. They just disappeared, you know. So
Dude,
it's
don't even
just,
think that they're lost. They're gonna come back in like 2 months. I just had a
Yeah,
package from Dubai
yeah.
get returned from September.
Yeah,
I
and they
emailed the
cost-
dude and I was like, do you still want this? Because I just
Yeah.
got it back. You never said you didn't get it. Like,
And then COVID and everything, like it just destroyed shipping and just customs. It was just like a nightmare, but it's still fun and worth it. And also just a good other branch of like, you know, the social media business is like merchandise is super lucrative. I mean, especially if you have a font
it
like
though?
Kiptoe. Dude, I mean, bro,
Not for me.
you could have made, I bet, a lot more hoodies. Dude, 1000 sells an insane amount of clothing. Like he
yeah, but his
makes
designs are way better than mine.
No, but he just like he's been in the game for a while and he has like a whole setup, whatever. He's like a mastermind, but like it definitely is lucrative. I mean, whether it's t-shirts or anything, I think it totally is a smart, one of the biggest, most lucrative aspects of if you have a following. I mean, granted, we are also artists, so it plays to that, but like art prints, but merchandise, you know, people love hoodies, you know, so or
They
t-shirts.
do love hoodies. My hoodies sold out real fast, and I got a shit ton of t-shirts that are
Yep,
still
I'm
just
there with you.
sitting in there. And it's the same
Yeah.
exact design, just people like the hoodie better.
Yeah.
And
I'm guilty of that though. I always go for the hoodie rather than the shirt.
Yeah.
I never
me too.
buy hoodies.
Really?
I got
Oh,
like,
really?
how much closet space do people have for
Well,
these
you
big
also are
bulky
in
hoodies?
LA. You're in
Yeah,
LA. I'm cold out here.
No, that's true.
Connecticut,
Yeah, dude, I'm wearing a hoodie every day of the week.
Minnesota also. Or Minneapolis, excuse me.
Yeah, hoodie all the time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting like a new round of those hoodies because there's a few people have been asking. Maybe I'll do another round.
Yeah, you should do a lot more than
How many-
45.
Well, the first time I did t-shirts was like those black and white ones. I think you got
I
one,
did.
the white one.
I think it's in my
But
studio.
I think I only did like 50 of each of those, and they took forever to sell.
Really?
So I was just being a little more cautious, and I'd never done hoodies, and it was like way more expensive and stuff. So I was just like, let me do 45, and then they were like selling like hotcakes, and I was like, I should have gone more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might do another round. How many did you get of all your sweatshirts?
Who, me?
Mine? Or Drew? I mean,
Well,
do you make multiples of those, Drew? Like because that's way different. You're doing custom embroidering. Like that's got to take way longer.
This one's just one. I sold this hoodie, but it didn't have these 4. It was just that center one.
Just the chest piece. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So
How much do you sell that for?
I sell them for $50. So.
Oh, that's pretty damn good. I mean, that's that's a good price for a custom thing.
It's nice. It's like a 14-ounce hoodie too. It's really thick and heavy. So
it looks thick and heavy.
I don't know.
14 ounce, damn.
Yeah, it's
it
very,
looks super.
The hood's like double wall, so that's like 28. No, no, yeah. So
those math skills.
It's nice because thank you. It's nice because I kind of make mine to order, like making everything in house. What I'll usually do is order a bunch of the blanks, and then if they're selling like hotcakes, it's like okay, well I got to make more of these. Then
that's really cool. One of my buddies does that, and that's like more almost like an art print. Obviously, it's a hoodie, but it's more in that vein of like custom piece of artwork. Yeah, it's a wearable thing, but especially if it's to order, someone wants this color and that color, I think that's great.
Yeah, and I especially feel that way with the screen printing too, because I know some people that'll sell like prints just on paper of their screen printing, and so it's just like doing that but on a t-shirt. It's the same thing. So
yeah, I did. There's 3 embroideries on this That's why it was kind of more expensive because it takes longer. And,
yep, on the hood too.
yeah, and the side. But
how much was the shipping from Peru to get those? That's like
a lot, because I made 400 hoodies, 200 of each
Oh.
color. Yeah, so it was like
fucking 100.
Yeah, so it was like a big play. Like that's what I'm saying. Like and I had no idea I was going to sell out, and I haven't sold out. I think I've sold maybe 2/3 of it, but I broke even a couple months ago. So pretty much once I passed that threshold, it's just sitting on free stock to, whenever someone buys something, it's making money. But like it was like definitely a risk, because you had to I think I put like over 10 grand up front to like do all the things. Shipping from Peru was a nightmare because whatever, my friend helped me with that part, but but that, like, when you order more, obviously you could get it down. So like, because it was 3 embroideries, if I only ordered 100 of each color, not only the shipping would be along the same lines, but cost per garment would be way higher. So the cost per garment, I think, was like $28 because I ordered 400, and if I only ordered like 100, it'd be $32. So it's just like, in the long run, if you hopefully sell out, right, it's just like math, it will be worth in the end. But it was like, oh my God, it was such a crash course on like business. And
it's so funny when I import some stuff for like my blank stickers and printing and whatever, then the manufacturer claims like $80 worth of product coming over the board. And I'm like, if anybody opens this up, they know the 50-pound package is not worth $80. Like,
yeah,
am I gonna get boned if this ever gets flagged, or does this go back to them? I was like, all right, I'll pay the shipping, but here we are.
Yeah, it's just like no one teaches this obviously, but it's like you just have, I just want to make cool hoodies. Oh, I have this manufacturer, and then it's just like a trillion other things. And it's just like you said, Kiptoe. Also, I was trying to like maintain my YouTube channel. I was trying to do all this marketing, my website. Like, it's just a lot. But like I said, I think it's just great, especially if you're like an online social media business. It's just one of those things that you should probably check off, or even give a shot. Maybe it won't be successful, but it's definitely smart to try it out. And
there's these companies called like Killer Merch, and those merch companies, they do like the big influencers merch, where it's kind of like they still have their own store, but it's like under the Killer Merch like bubble, where they do everything for you. And I don't know if you have to get like invited to that platform or whatever, but I was looking at that one day and I was like, damn, that'd be nice.
You could do that. There's websites that you just sign up for, like drop shipping. That's what I did for my first.
No, I use Printful for some of my stuff.
Okay, so then how is this one different than that? Where this is like they just really take control.
They probably do full inventory stocking and.
Yeah, they do. It's not like on-demand printing. It's like they have stock. It's like screen printed stuff, but it's like merch companies
that's like catered to you.
Do it for you. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean,
but
yeah, like you said,
they're not really. They're like fitness people and comedians and stuff that can't make their own merch anyways. So. Like we're artists, we tend to do shit ourselves anyways because we're picky and we can,
Yes.
So that's probably. So yeah, that's the part that stressed me out the most, was just being a perfectionist and being so picky about my hoodies and stuff. The guy that I worked with was really chill, but it's just, I feel like it's like I can't shut my artist brain off, and I gotta be a little bit more business savvy when I'm trying to do stuff like that, where it's like you want to make it the best you can in terms of the artwork, but it's also just more of a business decision than an art
Totally,
decision.
you got to be like almost unemotional.
Oh yeah,
but it's of course it's still your baby. If it's your art, your name behind it, yeah, you want to be that meticulous. But that's like, I think that's one of the biggest, most important learning curves, is to like separate that. And this, if I'm making 50 hoodies, it's not going to be this one mural I'm painting. Like, you just have to get it done, make it work. And obviously it's
get her done.
It's business. It's for money. Not that everyone's a money hungry YouTuber, but business is business.
Whenever I do little talks with students on Zoom or whatever, they always ask me like, what's like the one piece of advice you give us or whatever. And one of the things that I always say is like, if you go to art school, they teach you how to make art. They don't teach you how to be an artist.
Mm.
And if you want to be,
they don't even teach you to make art, dude. That's bullshit. Also,
yeah, they teach you what's on the syllabus.
yeah.
But like, if you want to be an artist, like in today's world, like you should probably like either take a business course or just dive in and do a lot of trial and error and figure it out in life, because life experience is like the greatest teacher. And I learned 10 million times more when I just started doing it myself and figuring it out as I went than like 4 years of art school. So I think just if like people are listening and they really want to be a full-time artist, just do it. Like if you need like a 9 to 5 or whatever, or you need like some type of supplementary income, like, do that thing. And then on all of your free time, do your passion and like practice becoming a business person, because you're not really even an artist. You're more of a business person.
Drew, I don't really know your backstory. I know Kiptoe and SIVE a little, but like, did you finish college? When did you get that studio? Like, did you just get into all this stuff, or like?
How old are you?
So I'm 22. I'm 22.
So I was a little young.
Yep. I was going to school for engineering, and I did 2 years for engineering, and then I was just like not really loving it so much. And before then, I had actually never taken an art class ever. Like I feel like I was never too exposed to the arts as like a path that I could take. I was just doodling a bunch in class, and one time a friend was like, "You should put one of those drawings on a shirt." And from there, it's just like a chain of events that led me here, really, where I was just, at first I was painting them on shirts and was like, no, I can, do it better than this. So then I learned how to screen print. That started going well. And I was like, well, I could start a business out of this. Started the business. And at this point, I hadn't even ever like painted. So other than just trying to get it on shirts, like I'd never painted on a canvas. So, and this was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And now, fast forward a few years, I just have been running the business. Things have been going well, but more so just I've really been like enjoying it. And I feel like this is kind of what you were saying, Kiptoe. Like I don't know how to, I more so didn't, but I didn't know how to like run a business, but I just like really wanted to keep doing it. So like I didn't, because when I was leaving engineering school, like one thing, because like you gotta like have some understanding from my mom's point of view, where it's like, oh, you want to leave engineering school and pursue a creative endeavor. It's just like, as far as like job security goes, they're quite opposite ends of the spectrum. So, a lot of people are saying like you should, go to art school or business school if that's what you want to do. But I'm really glad I did not, because I feel like just from experience, just like simply like painting 100 things is how I like started to learn how to paint, and watching SLEW's videos is how I started to learn how to paint. And like, just from experience, like you can learn so much on YouTube, and you can learn so much just from giving things a go. So I got this studio actually the same time I got the tufting gun, so pretty recently. But
awesome.
I really like having a dedicated space to do my work and be creative in. I find it's super freeing to have that. And I always lived in houses with a bunch of roommates, and you got to kind of be considerate of other people, understandably so. But I just love having like I just got a bunch of crap on my floors, and like a painting in progress like in every square inch of the walls. And I love that, to have everything out, like not have anything put away. Once something's out of sight, I never return to it.
Sure.
Yeah, man. I remember I lived in LA for 5 years, and I lived in this little 3-bedroom apartment. It was like it was the sickest space for me to live, because it was, I was paying like $560, which is like absolutely unheard of in LA.
That's cheap
for LA.
And
that's crazy.
And so each of us paid $560, and it was like a tiny little 3-bedroom, but like it was like the coolest spot, because everybody, like, I had a couple rotation of roommates, but everyone that came in there was like the coolest dude, and then like he got replaced by an even cooler dude, and then he got replaced by an even cooler dude. So it was like, and I was out painting on the street and like traveling and stuff, so I didn't really need a space to paint, because I wasn't really doing canvases or anything like that. I would just be making videos and painting outside. But then like I kind of like shifted a little bit, and I was like, kind of want to start painting inside a little bit more and doing like smaller illustrations and canvases and stuff. And I ended up here after a couple moves and some weird stuff that happened last year. But I have like this is my living room, but I have like a garage, like that's just acts as my studio space, and it's like I've never had a space to ball out and do whatever I wanted in there, and like I have all my spray paint in one place. I've like never been able to do that before. Like before, it was like in my trunk, in like a storage space, like in my closet, and I had to figure out where all my cans were and like what colors I had, and I just end up buying more because I didn't know where they were. And now, like, if I'm going to paint a mural, like this whole side of my garage is like, I got the sprays, I got the brushes, I got the rollers, I got the this and the caps, and I'm just like, it's exciting to have a space like that. And I have like a 4x8 plywood that I do all my little illustrations on. I just go like around the rosy kind of style.
Yeah, a lot of what I wanted to do with my space was reduce the friction to creation. So just like making it as easy as possible to create. So like, yeah, like having all your spray paint caps like out instead of just in a bag in a closet. Like even just that making the little details easier can make a big difference. So like this studio space, I can paint on the walls and the floor, which is nice. Like if I had carpet, I would have to like be careful not to get on the carpet. But here it's just like the mess doesn't matter, and kind of frees up the mind and lets me create easier.
Yeah, like any less friction is welcome to, in order to be creating your best stuff.
Reaching the flow.
Yeah, that flow state. I found that I like listening to ASMR when I draw. You guys like that shit?
That's wild. But like, what genre of ASMR?
There's like a
adult
Russian
movies
chick with big tits but like she's actually really good at it, so I'm not like watching the video.
But like, what is she's just like clicking or eating like pancakes?
Well, I like it because she's speaking in Russian. I can't understand what she's saying.
Oh, so it's just like,
it's just noise. It's like little whispers, and
that's crazy, dude. I gotta try
rather
that.
than like
it's like a manic meth head in the background.
What'd you say, Sam?
And there's also
I said it sounds like the ramblings of a manic meth head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like sometimes even like I can't do podcasts because when I'm working, because I get so easily distracted. I start listening to what they say. Like 20 minutes later, I haven't even drawn anything. I'm just like listening with the stories or whatever, and I'm like, I gotta listen to some Russian chicks whispering in my ear.
That's funny. I'm like the opposite. I feel that though, because like I'm like a huge I like novels, like fantasy novels, and obviously you can listen to like audiobooks, but if I'm listening to an actual story, like I have to be focused, so I can't do that with pain. But podcasts, like I listen to a disgusting amount of podcasts per week, like almost 30 like 2-hour podcasts every week, and I just throw them on. They're mostly like comedy podcasts, so I guess they're a little more, they're just like dicking around and having fun. So I don't, but it's just like background noise. And I used to just like rip albums and music, but I just can't, I just get like really bored, and I don't know, but podcasts for me, it's just, it almost like
you like Whiskey Ginger, Andrew Santino?
Yeah, I love
so good.
Andrew Santino. I listen to like Bobby Lee the most, like Bad Friends, which is Bobby and Andrew, and Tiger Belly, Tom Segura, Theo Vaughn, whatever. But I'm just like, I've been on a rampage through COVID. Like I feel like I'm top 1% on the globe of just consuming podcasts. It's kind of disgusting. But it's like I love it, dude. And there's just so many now. Like everyone and their sister's brother is starting a podcast, and some of them are super interesting or funny or whatever. So there's just an endless supply to supplement the painting sessions.
Yeah, I like the
I gotta
long
try
stream
the
of
Russian ASMR.
consciousness.
Maybe you should send me that link, man. I'd love that.
I will.
Yeah, I like the long stream of consciousness that podcasts provide. It just gives you a stream for 2 hours. You can sit down and either listen or not. And unlike music, that's like every 3 minutes you get a new transition. And I don't know.
Yeah. What kind of podcasts do you listen to, SIVE?
Talk and some comedy. A lot of, whether
Aren't they all talking podcasts?
Some people say so. Just conversational stuff where it's, like you said, people messing around, or there's this one snowboard one that I listen to quite a bit that's more interview style, so they go through the guy's history and kind of timeline, which is fun too because you get a backstory and to see where everybody came from and is now. So I like those too.
There's one called American History Tellers, which is like really well written, well narrated, like stories about America and like how shit came to be.
I think I've heard of that.
The beginning of time till when now. It's like it's super interesting. I listen to one. Sometimes if I'm trying to concept stuff and I'm trying to draw stuff from scratch, it has to be like silence or ASMR stuff. But if I'm like in the flow and I'm starting to paint, then I can flip on like a podcast. Maybe if I'm like in a good state and like already figured shit out, then I can listen to a podcast. But the American History Tellers, it's good. I listened to one about like the Dutch settlers who like started Manhattan.
Dope.
It's super
I love
interesting.
That. There's a podcast called Hardcore History. Maybe you've heard of it. It's similar. Similar vein.
Carlin.
Yeah, love him. I'm trying to start a podcast actually in my new studio. That's like one of my big goals because I'm like such a fan. But that's always been my dream. Even SIVE, I probably told you that a while ago. Like you've been doing this for a minute, and I love talking. I mean, not that it's like an ego trip, but just like conversating with other people and like putting your ideas out, or like having some sort of like broadcasted show that's ongoing. I think that's so fun. So that's like one of my giant goals.
Gives you a good reason to start conversations with people you might not conversate with too.
Totally. Listening, I think, is equally as important as the talking part. Just like being in a long form conversation.
Yeah, it's easy to forget how to do that when we're working in the studio all day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll get tunnel vision like no other. I'll either just be zoned in too much and then have no break from that and never look up, or get startled out of it, and it's all the same.
I've been doing like when I was like depressed and shit earlier this year, I would like just like call a friend, and I had no idea the therapeutic qualities of just like picking up the phone and like talking to a homie for like an hour or whatever, just shooting the shit.
Hell yeah.
Like that shit was really healing for me, and I kind of discovered that this year. And especially because I'm here by myself, I don't have anyone else to talk to. So it's like I discovered the importance of like just picking up the phone and calling people.
I'm sure it helped. It did the same to them too, whoever you were calling,
Yeah,
it's important. We're social creatures. I mean, COVID debunked that a little, but I think that's super important. Not even podcasting, but just being in contact. I mean, dude, I feel you, Kiptoe. This last winter, I mean, I've been as busy as I ever been, which keeps me focused, but at the same time, it's just like the most lonely lifestyle. And just granted, I live with my family, but it's just you need some like I don't know, just exposure of other people in your life. So I video chat my friends for hours. Some of them who are in my position also and don't work a 9 to 5. I'll just keep the Skype open for hours and just chat, and it totally helps me.
SLEW, what kind of, with your podcast that you're planning on starting, what kind of format are you going to take on that? Are you just going to do kind of one-on-one with people, interviews?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Like to have it based around like creative stuff, have like young professionals, young creatives on. I have like a bunch of homies who are like small business owners have like clothing brands or do other video production, photography, just the whole spectrum, the whole circuit. So that's like my goal. And then, I mean, in terms of also just like, it's another form of content. So it could bring other opportunities of, just anything. So, but it's like, it's in line with my obsession for like videography. So it will be like a video podcast and like a production and stuff like that. So, but that's like the gist. It's also like to really dick around. I don't want it to be super serious. And sometimes like I feel I take myself too seriously. Like my YouTube and art's like the one thing I take super seriously in my life, but sometimes I feel like I take myself too seriously. So I want the show to be super laid back, hanging with homies, whatever, not super scripted, but have the narrative be, like around creatives, young professionals and things like that. Because like there's a bunch of epic people like who are super legit, just like all of us who like know what they're doing and have businesses or have their experience that don't get, a lot of exposure, like that don't have like super successful, social media platforms, but are doing, like really high level stuff. So I think that
not hot cool. Shit like us.
Yeah, like you, Matthew.
No,
but
cool,
also,
I want to be on your podcast.
Of course, all of you. You all have to come through Brooklyn once the studio's up and running.
No doubt.
But it's just a melting pot, like also not even people I know. I mean, now that also you have more quote unquote cloud, if I have this resource, this bigger studio, it can just help people flock and, start new conversations.
Fuck in there? Is that what you said?
Flock.
Damn. You're doing orgies over there in Brooklyn and shit.
Hey, it's all open, man. You never know what's gonna happen. But
have you lived in New York? You lived in New York before, right?
Yeah, I lived 2 separate times. I lived in Manhattan for like 8 months and then Brooklyn for like 8 months. And I've been to going there like my whole life. I'm only an hour north, so I mean it's a big move, but it's not really that dramatically big because I'm pretty familiar. It's just like super expensive. It's like the scariest part. It's just bleeding money, but it's definitely the dream.
Cool, man.
Yeah, they say with COVID, rent prices are down. Is that helping you at all a little bit?
Yeah, it helped me a
in
lot.
The city? Nice.
I gave like an extremely low offer to this place, also like a year up front, which helps you get money off per month. But I was really shocked with the deal I got. I mean, it was still a lot of money, but like I had the whole budget for whatever, but it was like under what I originally intended. And it's like a pretty big space. So that was the plan. It like weirdly worked out. COVID. I mean, the whole market out there is crazy. I mean, I think it's going back up because it's springtime, and it's been like a year, and vaccines are coming. But it's still like, like there's no negotiation from the realtor side. It's basically if you show interest, they want you, and they'll do whatever they can to kind of like get you to put down money. So it did help me.
They say that's the history of every artist in every city is they find the place that they can afford to get by with and make what they're going to make no matter where they are, and then they create kind of the environment around them. So
totally
it's cool that you'll be building that from there.
Yeah, and people say, I mean, for major cities, I don't know if it's like this in California, Kiptoe, but like because there was like this mass exodus from New York and Brooklyn, like hundreds of thousands of people left. And obviously it's still the biggest city and people are going to come back, which is maybe now this next 4, 5, 6 months. People think it's going to be like this renaissance, like a bunch of young people are going to move in again and there's going to be more creative. So hopefully it will be this kind of cool transitional point of, new small businesses and new creatives coming in. So hopefully I can like be within the roots and networks of that, but that's all speculation, but that's like a cool idea.
You making connections already before you move over there?
Yeah, I mean, I have like all my homies, like almost none of my friends live where I'm from. Everyone's in New York either working or, it's just the place to grind and just try to like get things done. So I know a bunch of people out there and there's a couple like content creators, there's a couple YouTubers, not as much as LA, but there's definitely awesome people to collaborate with. So, yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I mean, my intention with this space, I've said this in videos, is like, with me and my buddy, it was like, if you build it, they will come, a collaborative space. But like, no one's coming to Connecticut where I am. It's in a really weird, sketchy spot, and that was kind of like my biggest regret of this place. Like, I've had collaborations, I have people come in here, but it wasn't nearly like that was one of my major goals of using the space, and so that's like my real intention is the opportunity to work in person with people, because like you could be a successful YouTuber in Alaska, you know, all you need is a video camera and an internet connection, but to be able to work with people and collaborate in person and do in-person things, like that's like why I'm doing the move and the scale up, is because of the opportunity that will hopefully present itself there, and the accessibility to get anywhere, and just this sheer amount of people. Proximity.
Yeah, volume's on your side for sure.
But it's scary.
So you're just gonna like take all. I mean, you got like 3 years of practice in this space here.
Totally, man. And I've been so lucky to have this space, and it's like super cheap, and so it's like I've just been hoarding for 3-4 years. But yeah, I'm taking a huge risk moving out there. Like I said, it's like my life savings. I've also raised some money to, like, I wrote this whole business plan. I'm half of my business is going to be like this nonprofit 501c3 status, where like people can give money and it's not taxed, whatever. So like it really is going to be like this resource for other people. Also, it's going to be my, you know, painting studio. It's going to be a video production photography studio, but it's also like I'm trying to host like bi-weekly figure drawing sessions for artists, like models paid for, everything, like things like that, or like have like kids from charter schools around come and use all the resources I have, or make videos for them. So again, hopefully really incorporating other people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that does sound sweet.
I was thinking of something I forgot.
But
Is the place you're going, is it bigger or smaller than?
It's bigger. It's a lot bigger. This is basically 800 square feet. It's like 2 400 square feet rectangles. The new space I have is 2,000 square feet, so it's like almost 2 times bigger. But yeah, pretty big. But it's like for a podcast studio, you know, like all the other things. It's just I'm just trying to like make like a content creative, just fantasy factory of oil paint.
Are you gonna like do all this yourself, or are you gonna have people helping you?
No, that's the other plan, is to like hire a team, and part of my budget is to help, you know, pay people to help work for me. And but that's like another absolute question mark, and something is that I think is going to be the biggest challenge, because it's like, you know, Kiptoe, it's like, or all of you, it's like, you are like, it's my brand, it's myself, it's my artwork, everything is me, you know, no one touches anything, I've done everything myself. And so like I need to have my eyes on every single aspect of everything. And so the idea of having someone else, you know, help me out or work or edit things, it's like it's really hard for me to like let things go and to like trust people to do other things, because like you said, like we're so meticulous, and it's like your baby. Everything you make is like your baby. So the idea of having someone edit a video for me, or like, you know, do the engineering on my website or whatever it may be, it's like that's really hard. And not only do I want obviously someone really talented, but like just that trust of like giving them that power to like help me, which obviously I need to scale up and to do bigger things. You need help. You can't do it all yourself. But it's like the one thing I've been like really nervous about, because I've just never had someone do that before. It's always been me, and I'm just like a control freak, honestly. So we'll cross that bridge. But that is absolutely the plan, because in my opinion, like for what the goals I want to achieve and the things I want to do, it's like I've done it all, but like I've reached a threshold of like I can't do anything more, like in terms of optimizing or just absolutely like allocating other work is what I need someone for. And so I'm really looking for someone like that, but have not crossed that bridge yet.
How do you think you're gonna find someone like that? Because I've thought about all the same things, but it's like, how do you like, no one's gonna give a shit as much as you do. And
exactly.
And like they're like, if you hire someone, basically what they want out of you is a paycheck and to learn. So,
yeah.
I mean, unless they're really good and they don't care about growing as like a individual themselves, and they're like really comfortable but working underneath someone or something like that. But yeah, it's like you're gonna find a certain type of person. I feel like you're gonna have there might be a lot of turnover, because people get what they need out of you and then they bounce, and you gotta find someone new, and it's kind of like you gotta keep the cycle going or something like that, you know. And That sounds tough, but you know, you got to go through it to figure it out. So
I think it is totally tough, man. And you said it, all of those things for sure. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like a paid job. I mean, like people have been telling me, oh, you could get kids from all the art schools in New York City to intern for you and help you film. It's like, yeah, that would be free labor, sure, but like, I need
not gonna be
someone.
good.
Yeah, exactly. You want someone like in the perfect world. I told this to my friends. It's like I want another me. You know, like I need a clone of myself to work for me, but that's impossible, obviously. Or to Dream World, or if you did, you would be paying them way too much because people who have the skills, who are professionals, who are in the lane of us, they're probably their own content creators that want to work for themselves to make money, not work for someone else. But obviously, the goal would be get someone with immense skill and talent, understands the workflow, the social media world, and then narrow a vision together. But it's super hard, I think. I mean, there's a bunch of YouTubers I follow who don't do art, but there's this guy named Alex Steele. I don't know if you guys know. He does like fabrication, um, um, like makes knives, and he like I've been following him for years, and he started his own studio in England, and he recently moved to the United States with a huge studio, and he has like this huge team, videographers, like he has a huge production, and I think it's totally possible, but I think it's really hard, and you'll have to separate, you know, not becoming like homies with this person or best friends with this person, and them just really being like an employee, being like, this is what you need to do, this is what I need, these are deliverables, blah blah blah. Because if you get too close with them, and then they want to start splitting revenue with you, but it's just a job, it's just a, you know, it's a workload that needs to be filled by someone. But that's what I'm expecting. But again, I haven't done any of this, so it's going to be absolute learning experience.
I think you'd be surprised if you wouldn't be able to find somebody that had mutual intentions to the direction you were trying to go. Like, by all accounts, there's a videographer out there that also wants to start a podcast studio and be the mixer man. Like, I don't. Yeah, you're looking at the worst sides of it, that you could find somebody that is a leech and holds you back, you know. But I think
I'm just nervous, Nelly, bro.
With the positivity.
Hey, come on! There's somebody out there that wants to, not just cut their teeth and be, a poor sideman, but cut their teeth and, help grow something because it is interesting to them too. So, maybe if you build it and you're around people, then they'll come. But I think you're in a good place to, even if you cut it super small and have someone that, makes YouTube videos about building your studio out and helping do the fabrication walls, invite them in to be that portion of the collaboration.
Right. I think you're right. I think that's totally how it would go. It wouldn't just be you find someone to just instantly fill those gaps. It would be like more of a slow process. And I already have a couple homies who are like my good friends who like help me film videos and like just hold the camera for certain things, or they shoot photos. But yeah, I'm really looking for like I want a team, I mean, like you want like a full, like lubed up, just like workforce of people who like are all in the game for the same intention and goal.
For sure.
But
nice and lubed up.
That freaked me out, dude. That was loud. Like, what is that?
Yeah. No, SLEW, we're actually in kind of similar positions where my lease is up here in like 6 months, and I plan on moving into a bigger space and kind of doing something similar, but a little more like. So actually, just today, I announced I launched Flavor World Records. So I'm starting a record label as kind of
that's cool as hell, man.
Tangent off of it, and I like just listening to you speak here. We're actually in very similar positions where my plan is to kind of like build this recording studio and have people come through and be able to use it, and have painting classes where I can my dream is kind of like having a rapper come through the music studio and then having them paint for the first time, just like
that's super
people
awesome.
like try new things, new creative things. But anyways, I've faced a lot of like very similar problems with like expanding the team. I mean, I'm sure we all have, if that's been the goal. Just where it's hard to give up. Yeah.
No one likes me.
It's just, I mean, it's hard to give up like a piece of your creation in the process, and like especially like with editing, like it would be such a nice time saver, like so much more efficient if we could give up some editing, because that takes up a lot of time. But editing is like more than half the art of the video. Like it's so much, so it's super hard to give that up. But anyways, I've found a lot of like, I've been having a hard time taking people on, but now with the forming this record label, I've kind of started to find a team through that. Just because I've found people that is like their strength is the music. Like
Totally.
they know the music, and so they don't know how to, make a T-shirt. And so I don't know, like I'd say find like a niche for these people to enter. Like find someone that really wants to like run the podcast, and then like have them help with the podcast. And once they're killing it with that, and everything is going good, then they can kind of like help other places. At least that's how I'm experiencing it, where they're all helping me with this record label, establishing it and how it works, doing the research. And now they're starting to be like, oh, well, I could help you print shirts, so then we could do this more. And it's like, okay,
yeah,
well,
they become like a multi-tool.
Kiptoe, you get help on some murals, right? How does that go? Is it?
Not really. I'm still pretty much doing all the mural stuff myself as well. Only times I've gotten help was like if I reached out like in Miami. I reached out to like have someone help me like find a wall before I got there, which was super helpful. And then she like helped me buff and do anything that I needed, and she was like really helpful. But yeah, I'm like still like a lonely bastard doing everything myself. My mural process is like, it's not like paint by numbers, so it's hard for me to get someone in there to help me.
Totally.
Unless
that
it's
would
like
be something crazy.
Unless it's like the background or something, because even my sketches for my murals are just kind of like a guideline for myself, and I'm like, oh, I know what I was trying to do there, but I gotta like flesh it out even more on the wall here, because I don't want to paint the whole thing twice. I know what I want it to be, but I just need like a guideline for myself. But if I gave that sketch to someone else, I'm like, hey, go do that corner over there, it would look like shit because my sketches aren't like fleshed out enough. And my buddy Levi Ponce, who's like one of my first and best friends in LA, he's like the opposite of me, kind of, where he grew up there. He's always super local. He's always got a big team around him, and like all of his murals are very like structured and like thought out, and he can give like this part to that person, this part to that person. They all are working on different parts of the mural at the same time, because it's all like this is the mural like on the printout. And like Tristan Eaton probably does that too. He just finished like a huge one in Texas, but he had like 2 or 3 guys helping him out. And maybe at some point I should probably like figure that out and like make my sketches a little more rendered, so I could hire someone to help me. But I would paint so fast, dude. I don't really need help at this.
Yeah, sure.
Dude. But have you thought about like editors like helping you with editing, because that's like a little less removed? Same vein, like your videos are obviously a piece of art also. I mean, that's what I consider my videos also, but that's almost like something that's easier, like it's something easier allocated to someone else.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've toyed with the idea. I just like we talked about before, like I have my grips on it, and I'm like, I got my it's hard for me to let go of that thing, because like I've kind of like reinvented my editing style a little bit, and I like have a particular way that I make the videos, and I have to be like a really good editor. But also I'm like constantly going back and forth between if I even like doing YouTube. like it seems like SLEW, like you and 1000 and Drew and SIVE, like you guys are like both feet in all the time with both hands and everything, and I'm always like taking one foot out, being like, do I even like doing this? Maybe, let me try again. And maybe I want to make another short film. Like I'm always obsessed with filmmaking, but not like YouTube filmmaking, like real filmmaking.
But Kiptoe, I think you're making it work exactly to your pace, though. I like the idea that you're coming out with a predefined 5 or 6 video chunk.
Right. That's my flow, dude. Like I love taking a hot break and then coming off with like a hot slew of videos, you know. And that was like my flow for the longest time. And then when I started to like build up my audience, I was like, oh, this is like a real thing I have to do now. And I started like push out videos like just to make the video. Like when I first started YouTube, I didn't want to be a YouTuber with the ER on the end. I would make videos of stuff I would already be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like that would be my flow. And I would just, whenever I had a thing going on, which was quite often, I would make a video about it. And then I realized like, oh, like this is like taking up all my time. I should probably like be more strategic about this. And I started to make videos just to make the video. And then I was like, oh, let me try and do a video every week. And that didn't last very long because I was like grinding myself to the bone, and I realized like, is this actually what I like doing anymore? And
yeah, it takes so much away from the art, which should be, which was the original catalyst,
Yeah, I hate, one of my biggest hated feelings is when I feel like I'm living for YouTube rather than living a life and also making YouTube. Sometimes like it happens like when I start traveling, I'll go on a big travel tour and make a video of everything that I do. And after a while, I'm just like, I just want to put the camera down and be a human.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that's like when I start to wax and wane with it a little bit. But every time I don't make a video, I regret it. So it's like this balancing act of like, oh, you gotta, because if you start to lose the passion and the spark that you had, like the videos are gonna be shit. And I don't know, and I feel like the bar for YouTube is always, it's like 10 million times higher than when I started, like in 2015. And like it's no longer good enough to just make art and make good videos. Like that's the lowest, tiniest little bar. You gotta be like the baddest motherfucker every week to like do cool shit on YouTube. And like the video is the product. And like if you make good videos, that's like just the barrier to entry is making good videos. It's no longer like a merit in itself to make good videos. That's just like expected. And then you got to bring all this extra stuff with it to have it compelling. You got to come up with like a catchy title. Like sometimes you got to reverse engineer, be like, how do I come up with a catchy thing and then make a video about that?
Yep.
And that's what I hate. That's when I started hating my life, and I'm like, oh, fuck this.
Well, you become a cog in the system at that point. The wrong things are influencing your creative choices. It's less.
Yeah, and like I want to be a guy. I want to be an artist that makes videos, not a video guy that makes art.
Mm-hmm. Cool, put it.
But sometimes you got to be the video guy that makes art, and I don't know. I guess it's a balancing act, like everything in life.
Totally. And that's one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, is just the balance of like making art on camera versus off camera. Because once I started making YouTube videos, I found that every time I was like gonna paint something, I was like, oh, I should film this and make a video. And kind of like that's kind of what you're battling with, where that's great. You can make money off it, you can grow your audience and your brand and make a cool video out of it. But like I found doing it every time started to kind of take away from just my love for painting. It it became like I was painting and making a video at the same time, and sure, I love them both, but it kind of diluted the both of them in a way.
I almost feel like you can't make anything without making a video about it.
Yeah, like I almost feel guilty, kind of like
we're trained dogs for the clicks.
Yeah.
I've talked about that a lot actually on my like Q&As and through videos, and I completely feel, Kiptoe, maybe out of everyone, exactly how you feel. But to Drew, I have like a double-edged sword on that topic, because I basically, and this has been for like the past 3 years, like I don't basically paint or draw without the camera rolling now, like ever, because I feel, it's not that I feel guilty that I'm not capturing content to then hopefully expand my business and gain more success, but it's just like I love the documentation. But and so I think it's extremely limited in that sense, that like I won't really just, especially painting, like I'll sketch without the camera rolling, but like if I'm painting, like I have to be recording, and so it's limiting. But at the same time, as I like kind of step back and look back at like my progression and like my path of being a painter, like I think that my enthusiasm for making videos has only made me paint more. So it's both that it's like limiting, but like I don't think I would have ever been where I am today in terms of like kind of teaching myself to paint and painting as much as I do without the like kind of parallel passion for making videos. So I think that's really true for me specifically, but like it is totally true. And like I get in huge, like just self-sabotaging ruts, like you said, Kipto, of just like trying to feed the beast of YouTube, trying to make a video every week. I'm trying to like you said, be a legit artist. I don't want to just be known as like a YouTube artist, but I'm trying to be a real artist that documents it really well and whatever. But it's really challenging and it's like it wears. And I, you know, this past winter specifically, I mean, after I broke my leg, I had like the first time in what seemed like my whole life, it was only like past 4 years where I took like 2 months off, didn't make a video, didn't even paint. And it was like really, I mean, had a smushed leg, but it was like really, it was really nice because like I had no pressure on me and I just like, all right, I'm just not going to do anything. And then after that, I revamped my channel a little, whatever, but I get in huge like burnout phases for sure all the time. And it just makes me feel shitty because one, I feel burnt out, but then also like I feel guilty because I'm not making content and I'm not feeding the beast anymore. So it's totally a balancing act and maybe different for all of us in different positions. But I think it's just exactly what we all said. And it's just a balancing act. But for me specifically, I can't not say that it's hindered me a little, but it's also, I think, been the one of the strong points of my success for just doing projects every week, you know, just the sheer amount of hours I put in because I want to make the video, you know, for me specifically.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I find that I've learned far faster and more techniques because I wanted to push the envelope of what I was showing and telling, you know, whether that's a technique or trying a new tool out. It definitely pushes you from your comfort zone to try to make sure it is something entertaining or full bore. So I can thank it for that half.
And I also found like, you know, when I had the camera on and I was painting, it like helped me focus too. Because if the camera's not rolling, I could go make food and end up on my cell phone for an hour. But if I know that there's a time lapse going over my shoulder, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna like keep painting then. Like,
right.
Yeah, I don't want to waste all these gigabytes and batteries running out and shit. And all right, fucking draw.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's the yin yang.
Hey,
Yeah,
there it is.
Hey.
Yes, it
what's
is.
the F mean?
Flavor.
Oh, that's cool.
What do you guys think about all that NFT stuff and the
we have
side
to
of
talk about
things?
that a little.
I've been trying to figure it out. I'm debating about making something for it or not. I know like the environmental thing is a thing, but like anytime you try and make money, it's gonna impact the environment. You make any kind of product or anything, like spray paint destroys the environment. Like, I mean, it's just I think it's great for digital artists who are mainly digital artists, like people who just made like $69 million.
Yeah, dude.
But like that's like he'd been making a thing every day for like 12 years or something. So that's 12 years of labor put into one exchange.
Yeah.
But like I've seen people make a couple grand, $8,000, $100 or whatever. I don't really know anything about it. I'm just talking out my ass, but I've been trying to like slowly figure out what it means and how it works and the blockchain and how
it's the future,
all works.
Man. It's the future. I'm a huge believer in, I mean, I've been like a huge believer of crypto just like for years. Like I've been holding crypto for like over 5 years now. It's actually how I paid for the studio in the beginning, like when I was like 21, but just the technology. I mean, yeah, now NFT wave is blowing up and digital art and people making money, but it's just like it's a new transitional time where anything can be authenticated on the internet. And so just that as like the sheer thesis is going to like change everything forever. And it's not just artwork, it's videos, it's character skins in video games. It's anything digital now that has this like authenticity aspect to it is just and what that does, and maybe you can back me up here, Saad, because you seem to know, but like once you have that ownership, that's where value comes in, because there's always going to be famous people. There's always going to be interesting things that people want to own. You know, we're just creatures who want to own things. We want collectibles. We want the Supreme t-shirt. We want the Charizard Pokemon card. And there's hundreds of thousands and $1 million in, you know, cardboard cards. It doesn't mean it's valuable. It's just what people place value in. And so once you can own something, even if it's just pixels on a screen, it's just a marketplace will be formed, and it's just going to be a huge. It is changing for the world.
Yeah, it comes down
it's a
to
good way
ownership.
for but it's a like crypto's been around forever, and when I did the
Mhm.
Seattle mural, that guy was like he was just like all in on crypto. He'd been doing crypto full time for like a year or whatever, and he had these crazy, wacky crypto stories that I don't even want to repeat. It was wild, but like it's like
What?
it's when radio went to TV, basically, you know? It's the same thing. Like I remember I watched like a video and they were comparing it to like the what do you call it? The start of the internet, where people thought the internet was like a fad.
What do I do
and
with
it
my
was gonna die
hands?
out.
Like,
And like people remember, like I watched an interview where they're talking about the first streamed like baseball game on the internet, and David Letterman was like, "You ever heard of radio?"
Yeah.
And now podcasts are bigger than radio. So like it's just like like the next evolution of currency, and like what is this? It's like just a piece of paper, but that we assigned a value to.
Yep.
It's the same thing as the digital tokens or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts is the royalty that the original owner gets anytime it's transferred or utilized. So, like, I think for that metric, it's going to be the backbone of advertising and distribution, because every time a McDonald's ad pops up on the new digital billboards, that token is going to be shared to your eyes that are scanned into the matrix, and it's going to cash you in, them out, and that's that, you know, and that's the way that they'll plan to track it all. So for that metric, if you know you are going to get on the ground floor of the middleman there, someone's going to have to be the service that provides that authentication or that transfer of media. And right now the internet is infant in the way it's utilized in the real world, but we're seeing augmented reality. We're seeing all these tools that are bridging the two, and someone's going to be making money on every time those things talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if this is going to be the one that's that, because who knows, you know, but it makes sense that something has to be the starting point to make transactions every time you see it, or every time it's used, or, you know, transferred at all.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Like the people who, you know, started the blockchain, and like it's almost like an alien made it, because it's so concretely packed in, like all the way back to all of those things of royalties. It's just like almost seems like a perfect system, but it's just like the idea of decentralizing. Like you don't need a gallery anymore. There's no more middleman. It's literally, you know, everything's traced, everything's upfront. Everyone knows exactly where it's going, who owns it. So there's no gray area to have, you know, sketchy things going on. It's just the person. I mean, whatever. We're talking about art, we're talking about even the currency or advertising, but it seems like it's just the system that, especially our whole world is now just content and advertising. Like everything is online, especially after COVID. You know, it's like it's kind of classic how this NFT blow up is like directly in the midst of everyone's at home on the computer. You know, so it kind of works out perfectly. But I'm super excited about it, and there is, like, just like you said, Kiptoe, there's push and pull for environmental things everywhere. 1000 made a great video about the effects on the environment. And also, I don't know if you guys know Corridor Digital. They do like awesome videos. Like Ren is going to make, I think, an awesome video about NFTs and how it actually, I think he's on the side that it's not that bad for the environment, considering everything else that, you know, the finance world does with Bloomberg terminals and everything. Like also, you know, miners who mine Bitcoin, who are, you know, solving the equations to collect actual crypto, is like that will continue no matter what, no matter if NFTs disappear. People are always going to be 24/7 kind of mining the currency. So
yeah, I think the energy statement, I think we're a little premature. So yeah, it looks really bad on paper right now, but 10 years from now, we're going to be on electricity from the sun through solar panels far more than we are today, and so it becomes more and more efficient. So yeah, it looks bad. Like the numbers 1000 throughout were gross. Like just thousands and thousands of years of pollution that you claim to provide. Who knows if it's that bad? But let's hope not. So, but everything new is inefficient.
Yeah, and they're even with the coins itself and the blockchains themselves. Like Bitcoin is like terribly energy inefficient, but like they're coming out with new coins that are more focused on being considerate towards that sort of thing. So I think just as a whole, the whole industry can, make it more manageable and more appealing to everybody.
What do you guys hold? I'm super curious. I'm all about Ether, baby.
Just Bitcoin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got a little Ether. Bitcoin, little Ether, and I just put some in Cardano.
Oh,
Cardano. Never heard of that.
Yeah, I know
pretty
Cardano.
New. It's pretty new. I'm faithful.
Nice.
Yeah. Kiptoe, have you been getting hit up? Like, I mean, people have been hitting me up every week about, I want to do this NFT. Like, I'm a digital animator. Like, can we use some of your artwork for NFTs? Have you been getting hit up like that? Really? Not surprising. Nope. Because it's just like a cash grab also. I mean, it's like,
that, again, yeah, it's so big.
And that's why I think people are scared about the environment, because now everyone who could just upload a PNG is trying to like sell their artwork for thousands of dollars. But people are making so much money, and if you get on these big platforms, it's like a guaranteed. It doesn't even matter what the artwork is. People just, if you have clout and you make something, that price will hopefully like go up. Like most of the people, I think it's obvious that the people who bought Beeple's stuff, they're just in it for the cash grab, and they could sell it instantly for double, triple, or hold it for a few years. So it's more of like, which is sad because it's like it's not centered around just appreciating art and owning digital art for the artist. It's more of like a marketplace to be a secondary market and to increase value and blah, blah, blah.
I think it'll come down.
Yeah, and that's how the whole art world is already.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, the money laundering that goes into fine art already. This is nothing new.
Totally.
When's the next banana taped on a wall?
Yes.
NFT gonna come out?
That was terrible. I was in Miami when that happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just like.
Did you see it, or you just hear about it?
No, I didn't see it, but it was somewhere in Wynwood.
It's such a Miami thing to happen.
I mean, it was during Art Basel. Yeah, it was just like.
Yeah, I went to Art Basel once, and that was like enough for me. I was like,
is it that crazy?
I don't know if I need to go back to.
I didn't really enjoy it either, man. Let me be straight honest.
I went there to paint a mural, and then the rest of the time,
the whole mural was sick.
Yeah, thanks. And I don't know. It was just weird. Felt like a weird popularity contest, or everyone's everyone's there trying to do the same thing, and everyone's stepping on everyone's toes, and by the end of the weekend everything's bombed over anyways.
Right. Yeah.
But it was definitely wild. There was some cool parties and stuff, and I got to go to Secret Walls for the first time.
Secret Walls
got to watch Nichos paint a mural while the other guys were like battling out on stage and stuff.
That's so sick.
And I got to meet a bunch of cool people and made some friends, and went to like stuff not related to Art Basel. Like I went to like a beach rave.
Nice.
Like this guy Rainer Gamboa, he invited me to this beach rave, and it was just like 30 minutes outside of Miami, and it was like super cold though. It was like ridiculously cold. I didn't really have any warm clothes, so we were just like, then we brought all this face paint, and we were going around like painting on people's faces and just doing that kind of shit. But
I got a very like inauthentic vibe from everyone. Like everyone kind of seemed phony and just there, like you said, to get their name out, popularity contest, just like cash grab. There's also a bunch of shitty art I saw just like in the galleries. Like, not that I'm trying to ever hate, but it literally just seemed like some formulaic thing to get in galleries and constant like schmoozing. And it just like, I mean, there's parts that are awesome. And you like talk about murals and like night shows, or just although those people who are like established artists and around Wynwood, like I love that. But I was like in a gallery that wasn't really in the main Art Basel place, and there was like, there's a little pop-up gallery every block, in all of Miami, and it just was like it was a little overwhelming. It wasn't the it was like I was like, oh, I'm going to Art Basel, I'm an artist in Art Basel, and then it's like, it's like you like that saying, don't meet your hero, because it's always going to be let down. It's sort of like that, honestly.
Yeah, but at least you can say you went and did it.
Totally, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. Yeah, and it was a great experience to put in your pocket. But I don't know if I'll go back, or it's not. It's certainly in my new goals category to be like, I want to go back there.
Denver's got a pretty cool festival every summer. That's all walking
in the Rhino District, right?
Yeah, it's smaller than I take what Wynwood is, but it's quaint enough.
Definitely, Miami Basel is enormous.
Massive,
like every wall is covered in a mural or graffiti.
What is it called in Denver?
Crush.
Oh, it's called Crush.
Yeah, it's a good walk on a Friday night. People are still painting, and halfway through they start week of, and then Friday, Saturday is kind of the show and tell.
That's
but
sick.
It's a good hang, and it's in a restaurant district, so it's not like galleries. Everything's murals, so I think that probably serves it a little bit better that everybody's just out walking the streets.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff does get bombed over pretty quickly because the way it is,
Is Denver cool? I've been trying to figure out where I should live. I don't know if I want to be here anymore, and I'm thinking about like, some people are in Denver. Yeah, it's so cold and snowy over there. I thought
beautiful.
You'd be surprised. No, we get 300 days of sun a year. The winter is really mild in Denver proper. The mountains are 3,000-4,000 foot elevation gain from the city, so that's where all the snow really hangs out. Like we literally had 4 inches the other night, and it's gone that same day. So it's mild weather and decent art scene for sure, and ton of people your age, my age, and below. When the Green Rush came through, everybody moved here, and it grew around activities of this age group. So
yeah,
it's good fun.
You guys hear that New York just legalized marijuana?
Really?
Today.
Nice.
New York? Wow.
Today, yeah, crazy.
Tax cash coming up.
I know. Maybe that.
I mean, that's like old news. Like they're legalizing shrooms and stuff.
Yeah, Portland.
Yeah. But New York was so like stringent, and like they thought it would never even pass like medicinal, but now they just like the vote went in and it's completely recreational now, which is crazy.
Yeah, dude, the rec centers and public parks here are something to knock on. The cash came from somewhere, and it looks real nice, so I cannot complain.
Yeah, that's cool. You got dope like skate parks and
tennis courts. Skate parks in every city. They have a snowboard park in downtown here, so they'll put rails and stuff up in the winter.
They have like swimming pools, like lap pools.
Yep.
I used
all
to
the rec
swim.
centers.
I kind of miss it.
Kiptoe, we used to maybe compete a little against one another.
Are you a swimmer too?
Yeah. I've seen your mural.
Who's got the strokes? What's your guys' stroke?
I was a breaststroker, 100-meter breaststroke.
Same here.
Oh yeah, I was second in the state in high school.
I was not. So thanks.
I was 100-yard breaststroke because we were doing yards. It was
age?
It was like a 103.
Nice.
100,
I think it was 104, 105 at my best.
You guys got the muscular, lanky bodies for it. I can see.
And the webbed toes. Come on.
Yeah, frog legs. Breaststroke is like the one that destroys your whole body because you're like it's equal 50-50 arms and legs. Well, butterfly's the destroyer, but breaststroke is like close second. And it's like it's all about the technique because some people like go up like this and they pause and they go back down, but you got to have like the whole flow where you're going forward constantly.
Oh yeah.
I think I did 4 years of high school and then 2 years of college.
Oh, nice.
And by the second year of college, I was like, I perfected my stroke of the breast. Yeah.
Oh,
Then it was
you two race, and SLEW and I will race, and we'll see.
I still got a swim
On
cap
top of
somewhere.
the swimming race.
I'm definitely not fast, but I love swimming.
Same.
Yeah.
I tried out for the tennis team as a sophomore, and I was definitely not as good as I was at swimming. I think I was like second worst on the team. You literally have ranks on a tennis team. You play against each other to see who wins, and you rank from like 1 through 15 or whatever. I was number 14.
That's an ego setter right there.
Really hard.
Yeah, I'm a racket man myself. I played squash in high school pretty seriously, but also played tennis.
What's squash?
Squash is like indoor racquetball, but different than racquetball. It's like only in the East Coast. It's pretty, no one knows what it is, but it's such a fun game.
My
So
college
like
had a
handball,
huge
you hit it
squash
against
thing.
the wall.
Yeah. Hit against the wall with a racket.
We had the squash open at my college one year. Apparently, it was the to-do.
Funny. I didn't play much sports. I just skateboarded, but
that's a sport. That's
yeah,
hard.
I would count that. Come on.
I remember the first time.
No team sports.
I remember the first time I ever ollied a curb. It was like the best day of my life.
Yeah.
I felt like Superman, and I never could do it again. Did it once in my life, and that was it.
Skating's the best, dude. I'll never forget the day I landed a kickflip. Like, I think that's the hardest I've tried to do anything in my life.
Kickflip. So hard.
I gave
I've
up
never
on kickflip.
I've never landed like a tray flip, a 360 flip, and that's like on my bucket list.
Yep. That's
Seriously.
that next step above the kickflip, you know? It's
Dude,
like
the tray.
ollie is level 1, kickflip is level 2, tray flip level 3.
Can you tray flip? Are you nice at skating?
No, I can kickflip. I did a couple.
Is that when you spin the board all the way and it does a flip?
Yeah.
360 and kickflip, yeah. But no, this summer's the one. Mark my words.
Let's go.
It's the summer of the tray flip. I mean, I love skateboarding. I've definitely learned like a lot just about life from such a stupid thing as a piece of wood with wheels on it. Which,
dude, yeah,
it's interesting how you can learn things.
Perseverance.
From random things.
Skating's like, it's so independent. Like, some of my main homies are like the most mellow, like aware people I know, and they're just like hardcore skaters. You know, just like super athletic, super movement based, like really getting your heart bumping, but like also creative, and you're in your own world. And like, I have a lot of love for skating as a cultural thing.
It's like the best form of, if you fuck up, just try again.
Totally.
Like, you beat your ass all day, you fail, and then you finally get it.
Look at us. We're like 4 wise sages.
Skateboard.
Breaststroke.
How is this stream doing? We're ripping 2.5 hours almost. Is this going to be a nice 30-hour render for you, SIVE?
No, it's cheap to render pixels on the screen through Discord.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Exporting this through Premiere, it doesn't take a while?
Nah, I'll let it go.
Wow. Hell yeah.
The computer's pretty hungry for data, too. It's doing pretty good. Yeah.
Nice.
I used Final Cut for the longest time, and then I switched to Premiere like a year ago or 2 years ago or something. And
wow, that's kind of crazy, man.
I still don't even know if I like Premiere.
That's wild.
I'm using Final Cut.
The first Premiere video I did was the Into the Spider-Verse video.
Okay.
And that was like a crash course in like doing Premiere stuff. And I feel like it crashes 10 times more than Final Cut ever did on me.
It is not a stable
It's so
program.
finicky. It's so picky. You got to baby it. I don't know. Not sold on it, but
I've never used Final Cut, and I've heard good things, but I don't think I could ever switch. I can't imagine switching an editing software, dude. Like, that just sounds like the most not only challenging but like painstaking learning curve ever. I mean, I don't know if you know like DaVinci Resolve, like the color correcting platform now, you could edit fully there, and it's like supposedly really awesome. And also it's just everything in one. And like also Blackmagic, just like their whole ecosystem is just like unified now. So that's like really enticing for me because I use a Blackmagic camera, and also like the color correcting is like the best one, but just the thought of switching is just like so scary because like I could just edit with my eyes closed on Premiere. But you're right, it crashed. My computer crashes 20 plus times during an edit. Like
Yeah,
I
I've got like a
save almost
2-minute
every second
autosave
my
on.
computer.
Yeah, it's one of those. I don't trust it, but
Yeah.
that's all I know.
SIVE was the one that told me about the RAID setup.
Yeah, still using that.
I didn't
go through with it.
do that yet, but
Dude, Kiptoe, didn't you lose a shitload of footage?
I got all of it back. It just
Oh, really?
cost me $2,000, and a lot of it was like pixelated or
But
like
they got it somehow.
It had like glitches in it, but I was still able to
wow,
make
that's
videos
a
out of it.
I got my RAID after you told me you lost your shit because
Yeah.
like there's nothing more scary to me. You know, that footage to me is priceless, and the idea of losing it would just hurt my soul. I run like a RAID 2 setup right now.
So what's a RAID?
Redundant backup hard drive. So you have I have a 32 terabyte hard drive, but you can only use half of that because everything you put on it, like if it crashes, it will back
it's like two separate drives, kind of
copied over.
Kind of. So it's just like redundant like safeguards. And you could do like a RAID 5. So you could get like 100 terabytes where you only use 20, and then it will back it up 5 times in case that crashes, So it's like foolproof.
But there's like pros and cons to each setup, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the best ones is 4 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't edit or do anything on my RAID setup. That's all deep storage.
Yeah, me too.
For quicker access, copy whatever I'm working on over to an SSD and run from that, and it works smoother, allegedly. I don't know if I'd know the difference if I was editing on something else.
Yeah, I did the same. I got SSD, and I'm like, this is like the same.
Right. So there's always going to be a bottleneck somewhere that's over my head, but at least with the double backup, I feel assured that if a hard drive goes down, I can plug a new one in and it'll rewrite
Me too,
everything.
dude. That's all that I pay for. It's just like the idea that it's going to be okay. You know, like maybe I'll never have a situation like you, Kiptoe, where it would just somehow fail and just be super shitty, but I don't want to risk it. But it's super expensive. Like that shit sucks to pay for.
I burned a hard drive once plugging the wrong power supply into it.
Really?
Yeah, I plugged it was like, looked the same. It was my plotter's power supply, which I guess takes a lot more power. Plugged it in, turned it on, and just zapped it. And I was like, well, all right, there goes this a couple terabytes. I guess I don't need them.
Kiptoe, do you delete your footage after, like, all the raw time-lapse footage after you edit the video?
What do you mean?
Like, this painting I'm working on right behind me is like, I've been working on it for a few weeks. It's like almost more than a terabyte of footage now. And then once I export the video, I delete all that footage.
The hard drive?
Yeah, like the raw time lapse, like the hours of painting. Like, do you keep everything, or do you delete it once you export the final video?
I keep everything in case I'm doing like some other video where I need some raw footage or something, and I don't know. I just feel like I like having the fact that I have all the raw footage. But like as career YouTubers, that's like just an insane amount of footage that is just sitting there all the time.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I have to delete it, or else I'd have 3,000 hard drives.
I have that same fear, and I've saved everything, and I have never gone back once. It's like, but I still like the idea that I could.
Yeah. I mean, I save like the talking or like anything, but like I'm just talking about the specific like time lapse footage of just painting slowly for hours and hours. Like I just get rid of that as fast as I can because it's already.
So once you make your video, the footage is basically useless for you because on to the next one, basically.
Well, it's not useless. It's just like I have the exported video that usually is 4K, and the time lapse is within that. So if I need the time lapse, I could just use that final exported video. I don't necessarily need to go back to find a specific spot, but that's basically all I delete. I save like the talking or the B-roll or the whatever, but I mean, like I said, this painting is like
just hours and hours of painting.
It's like I would literally have so much data storage. It just gets so expensive, and
I've cut down a lot and tried to have some forethought of what I'm filming as something that is valuable that'll go into the final edit. So I've tried to cut down how big my project library is quite a bit, just so that I'm not sifting through 3 hours of speed art that I end up using 10 seconds of.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help. I've been filming in 360, and that is like 40 gigs for every 2 minutes or 4 minutes. It's like just absurd. So I end up getting rid of some of that stuff because I just can't keep 200 gigs up for one little shot, you know?
Yeah.
I definitely live on the edge as far as memory goes. I don't think I got
on the edge.
I don't think I got much backup going on, and I definitely delete
You'll
like
learn.
time-lapses. I know. I'm thinking.
One time you're like, "Fuck, man."
I'm thinking
Listen
this
to those
right
guys.
here is my opportunity to learn the easy way. You know, maybe I should.
Hard drives are cheap too. In all grand scheme of things, they're the cheapest component to a computer.
Yeah,
so
they're getting
like,
cheaper and faster, which is actually awesome. Yeah, actually, this project I'm working on right now is the first time I accidentally formatted a card when I had like probably the sexiest footage on it, and like it was the first time because I'm like religious about backing everything up, managing the footage, and just making sure it's okay. And like to format a card to just like reuse it, I just forgot to put it in my computer, and I just like literally.
The only way I've avoided that is just not ever formatted a card. I just heard that as a war story once. I'm like, good, just don't do that. Like,
yeah, but so then what do? You just buy new SD cards? No,
I just delete the one file and make sure I've already copied it over. I just don't hit the format button.
But it hurts, man. It
hurts. I
know. Well, speaking of editing, I gotta finish this edit for Saturday, and I gotta take a big piss. Like I've been holding my legs cross-legged this whole time. It was great talking to you, gents. You guys can keep going, but I gotta take off.
Beautiful segue.
Thank you, SIVE, for setting it up.
Of
you
course,
guys are awesome. Good to meet you, Drew. Look forward to seeing more from your channel. SIVE. SLEW, always a pleasure, dude.
Nice to see you, man. Good to talk.
Yeah, good to see SIVE's cute little face for the first time.
Thanks.
Yeah, I guess the audience will not.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. And remember, I want a big eggplant emoji on my face.
Done.
All right.
Oh, Kitty, what's up?
There's a kitty.
Hello. She says goodbye to you as well.
What's her name?
Dolly, as in Salvador Dali.
Dolly.
Oh. All right, later, Dolly.
All right.
Peace, Kiptoe. Yeah, Drew, nice to meet you, man. I'm going to check out your channel also.